Well, hello and welcome here inside Encana Arena in Camrose, Alberta. Pardon me. I'm Jamie Neugebauer. As the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League All-Stars are looking to make it Camrose, Saskatchewan, with another big win tonight, as they will have a real big test on their hands. It is the Czech Select, a team made up of players from various hockey teams in Czechia College Hockey League, and it's going to be very interesting. The Czechs look terrific, despite the fact that they rolled in to their hotel early yesterday morning and still played very well against Augustana. The SJHL had a big 6-2 win against Midland University of the ACHA, a team from Nebraska in the United States. So back-to-back games against teams from other countries, I suppose. Though, of course, this is the full Czech college national team. So, it's a very interesting test for this SJHL team. But I can tell you that they are very excited for that test. I did speak to Yorkton Terriers captain and Team SJHL forward, Tylen Henriksen, before this game. He said that they're excited. He said that this game is one that they've had really circled in the group stage almost more than any other. And it should be a game that has lots of challenge, because this Czech team looked like they were trying to be bullies against Augustana, let's be frank, yesterday, and they succeeded. They caused lots of turnovers. They were able to create lots of chances in transition and show that speed. Now, one of the other interesting elements of many storylines in this game is that it is going to be Brady Holtvoet in the net for the Team SJHL. Brady Holtvoet, the 07 birth year, who has just returned to the Humboldt Broncos from the Prince George Cougars of the Western Hockey League. Of course, you talk about a talented kid. He's as talented of a young goaltender as there is in the SJHL, and it should be a lot of fun. Now, the other side of things, the Czechs, of course, they've got a lot of players that have lots of experience, but maybe none more than David Ruda, who is the player of the game for them against Augustana. He has experience in the Finnish U20 League. He has been around the block. Many of these Czech players do play together for the engineering school in Prague, CVUT Engineers Prague, but Tomáš Bernat, for example, played for Czechia at the 2019-2020 Junior A World Challenge. So again, guys with experience. He also played at the Universiad, which is a really good tournament, the University Cup, last year, scoring 2 goals over the 6 games. So Tomáš Bernat is going to be somebody to watch again out of, as I mentioned, CVUT Engineers Prague, as well as Kralupy in the Czech 3rd division, where he is a big scorer, 16 points in 22 games for him. And he had a big season a year ago for Slovan Ústečí in the Czech 3rd division. He was their captain as well. So I spoke to Tylen Henriksen, as I mentioned, and let's give it a listen right now, as listening now is the captain of the Yorkton Terriers. Tylen Henriksen, give it a listen. Henriksen, the captain of the Yorkton Terriers and forward for the SJHL here at the Viking Cup. Tylen, obviously a big win yesterday against Midland University. How do you build on that tonight?
I think it was a good game yesterday. I think we'll watch some film here, maybe clean up some things on the power play and the penalty kill, but overall just take that momentum into this game against the Czechs here.
Yeah, and obviously, it's always neat when there's a national team element and there's a national anthem and whatnot, but as a hockey team, you guys watched them play yesterday. What were some of your takeaways?
It was a pretty chippy game, to be honest with you. I think they're a little bit older than us. Might try throw us around a little bit, bully us kind of, and that sort, but I think we just got to be ready for the task and not shy down from them and come ready to play.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, the S in the SJHL is Saskatchewan, so tough stuff and the rough stuff probably won't be too unfamiliar for you guys anyways. But just talk about how cool it is. I know you and I had some a few words during the opening ceremony when they sang the Czech anthem, but should I hear a couple different anthems also pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's super cool. It's a pretty big honor to be at this tournament and play a team like the Czechs, so I think we got to respect them, but not too much, and at the end of the day, we want the 2 points, so yeah.
For sure. Just two more questions then. Obviously, not just you, but Jai Zawatsky here as well. Obviously, Tommy Reese did an awesome job playing for Canada West at the Junior A Challenge as well. Just talk about, the times in Yorkton and how you guys are getting some recognition now.
Yeah, no, I've been there for 3 years now. Really enjoyed my 3 years, and especially this year, I think we got a good group. Tommy on the back end, and then got a good group of forwards up front. And I think we're poised to make a push here. We're kind of coming together as a team and stuff, and been heating up lately. So I think the second half should be good for us.
Yeah, for sure. And then just the last question, I guess, what's the tone that you expect Coach Kosher and Turner to kind of ask you guys to do to start this one off?
I think just get after it. He said it a bunch this weekend, but yeah, I think just get after it and be ready to play. The first 5 are going to be huge. Maybe get a bump and kind of set the tone on our end, and just be ready for whatever they throw at us. So,
all right, thanks, Tyler. Great job, bud.
Yeah, thanks, Newsy.
So that was my interview with Tylen Henriksen of the Yorkton Terriers, as well as Team SJHL, as they get set to take on Team Czechia. Let's go through the lineups. First for the SJHL, the top line a little bit quieter yesterday, but had their chances. Just didn't fill the back of the net maybe as much as they thought. It is Soupy Campbell, Anthony Campbell of the Battlefords North Stars, with Rylan Williams of the Estevan Bruins and Jai Zawatsky of the Yorkton Terriers. Noah Asmundson centers the second line with Drew Moldy of the Weyburn Red Wings and Josh Sale of the Weyburn Red Wings, a line that Coach Drew is called the 39 line, the Highway 39 rivals all put together there. Noah of Estevan and Drew and Josh of Weyburn. Of course, those two clubs do not like each other and certainly want to beat each other every time they get a chance by a lot. The third line, if you want to call it that, of course, these are 4 first lines, really. Zayden Saddlemeyer, the defending champion with the Melfort Mustangs. He centers the line with Van Egger and Brendan Olsen. On the left, Olsen of Nipawin and Van Egger of Kindersley, the former Swift Current Bronco, Prince George Cougar. And Joey Lees centers the line with fellow Flin Flon bomber Reed Arbery and Tylen Henriksen, and that line was excellent. And to go on the blue line, the player of the game from last night, Rusty Demo of the Kindersley Clippers. He was outstanding. He's paired with the West Sask rival superstar Gavin Granger of the Battlefords North Stars. Ethan Andrews is paired with Boston Harkness in an all-Bungie division pairing. Andrews, of course, of Estevan, and Boston Harkness of Melville, two of the top point getters in the SJHL among defensemen, and Sam Ward of the Flin Flon Bombers, formerly of the Swift Current Broncos, and the Wenatchee Wild as well of the Western Hockey League. He is paired with Bo Eisner, who's got 2 SJHL championship rings from the last 2 seasons with the Melfort Mustangs. And in net, it is the Humboldt, Saskatchewan native Brady Holtvoet, 6'2", 195 pounds. He's a 2-1-1 record on the year with Humboldt. As I mentioned, he was with Prince George in the Western League most of the season. He has 7 preseason games with Prince George in his Western League career. He relieved Joshua Ravensbergen, who's with Team Canada, the World Juniors right now. In fact, on October the 31st in a game there, he's got a 299 goals against and a 917 save percentage. And again, they got a very interesting task ahead dealing with this Czech team, as the SJHLers wearing their whites are on the ice right now. And I believe it'll be Lukas Klika in the net for the Czechs. And then, it was a Martin Altrichter who was really, really good yesterday. Klika is going to get the start here today out of most Czechia. Plays for HC Northwings Ushti in the Czech University League, and 3-5 in that league. He's had a hard go in the Czech third division, but big goaltender at 6'2", 180 pounds, as we're going to pause here for the national anthems. Well, folks, here we go. Comment in. First of all, if you can hear me. Second of all, comment in where you are watching or listening from. My suggestion, of course, would be to listen to my broadcast and watch it on Flow. My understanding is there might be some issues with the Flow broadcast. Nothing I could do about it, but I'll try to pass it on, I guess, at the intermission when I have a minute. The teams are going to have a little exchange, I think, of gifts. In Saddlemeyer and Piskach of Czechia are over there to have a word and an exchange there as they shake hands. And it's a situation where the SJHL is maybe a little bit more underdog than yesterday. I'll put it that way. This Czechia team looked terrific, as I said, against Augustana. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. First, Hannah Grace on YouTube, who's doing a wonderful job with the University of Regina. Sarah Thorhog from Willow Bunch, I'm guessing somehow involved with Van Egger. And Genny Badir from Saskatoon. Donna Britton up at Baker's Narrows cheering for Tyler Henriksen. Hope everybody with your people there, Donna, was okay from the fires and whatnot. But we got a hockey game in the SJHL trying to continue to light this tournament on fire. Obviously, the youngest team in the league and have the youngest player in the tournament for sure in Brady Holtvoet. But nothing about Brady's demeanor seems to be an issue for him. So we'll see how he does. It's going to be Anthony Campbell with Rylan Williams and Jai Zawadzki at center ice. And they do win the draw as the Czechia team is going to be in red, Team SJHL in white. And we're underway. Thank you so much for tuning in here on YouTube Live and on Facebook Live. As Klika tried to play that one away from Anthony Campbell, the fine centerman for the Battleford's North Stars, to get a quick whistle. I think it hit maybe a hand on the bench of the Czechia players. And big line there for the Czechs, Ruda and Bernard out there to start that game. They got lots of tools. They're big and strong. They really tried to be physical against Augustana yesterday, the Czechs did, and the SJHL knew that. You see that one right away off the face-off as Henriksen took a big bump right there from Filip Novak, and the Czechs will regroup it here. Here is Novak behind his own net, only as far as Sam Ward at the line, played it into the midsection of a Czech player, and here's Pastor. Pastor in the middle for Novak, trying to bust his way up. Filip Novak into the middle of the ice, trying to find his man there, Adam Sukor. Now here is Pastor down low, a little backhand. That one's through the blue paint, and Pastor looking like a shifty character. SJHL a little leggy here in the first minute, but no harm done as Piskach will play that one into the corner in the Czechian zone. This one's going to be picked up by Sokor, trying to play it up the right wall there, but Joey Lees gave him a hard bit of a bump. Pardon me, as Brendan Olsen was able to get that one to the corner, and Filip Novak will leave it behind his own net. No score here, 18:35 to go here in the first period. This one's right on, and Holtvoet makes the first save on a long wrist shot. Pardon me. That one was off the stick of Jonas Jobanek. Here is Jobanek again. He's being bothered by Demo as it squibs into the SJHL zone. Demo battling with his man in the corner. Granger too, as Demo's got a stick in his midsection, but the peck is in the stick of Kucharik. Kucharik given a shove there by Granger as well as Egger, and he tried to chop Egger in the head, and I think a penalty is going to come up against Kucharik. This was a huge key. It's going to be an elbowing call against Kucharik, and this was a huge message from Drew Kosher This Czech team is going to try to bully this SJ team. They're going to try to draw them into nonsense, be physical after the whistle. And the SJHL can maybe get some power play chances in this game if they can keep their cool. And that was one of the biggest messages from Drew Kosher pregame was to really with Klika, and he will hang on for the whistle. Holtvoet, of course, sharing time in Humboldt this year with Charlie Tritt, who's leading the SJHL in a lot of goaltender categories and was supposed to be here, but dealt with an injury. Good job by the SJHL, not passing up a shot opportunity there. Ward from the middle of the ice got it through traffic, but Klika was able to make the save. Granger now to the right point, now to Sam Ward. Half wall, Rylan Williams. Back to the top to Ward. One-timer to Granger. That's a bullet. And wide. And the former Saskatoon Blazers star didn't miss by too much there. But the puck did miss the net. Went straight out of play. And a big key, again, is winning those face-offs. I think one area that the SJHL was expected to do well in was that face-off dot. Obviously, Joey Lees and Anthony Campbell, some of the best in the league. Drew Moldy as well. And, of course, they were hoping to have Lucas Schmidt from Weyburn, who's been the leading face-off guy in the league for a long time, but he's out with an injury as well. So the SJHL certainly could have used a few more guys too, but the guys that have been here have been terrific and all deserve to be here 100% as well. This one's down low to Zawatsky in the corner. Granger at the left point, now to Zawatsky in the corner again. Joey Lees behind the net looking for an option. Lees to the right point to Rylan Williams. Swings and misses, isn't able to keep it in at least for a second, but he was bothered by the Czechian penalty killer Bukal and was able to get that one down the ice. Sam Ward with the Flin Flon bucket throws it back to Rylan Williams, and they'll regroup it now. Here is Zawatsky now through the neutral zone, being watched there by a big presence of Adam Januszek. Played it to the half wall, though, and it's off of Sikora, but stays in to the Czechian zone. Lees down to the corner for Klika to play it. He'll play it along the wall where Asmundsen trying to keep it in. He does lose the handle, but Januszek lost his stick, so it didn't turn into any trouble. And back the other way is Noah Asmundsen trying to get that one in deep. Here is Ethan Andrews now. Puck does skirt the blue line, going to be pulled away by Zayden Saddlemeyer, and Russ Demo will come up with it. Demo looking into the corner. He's a little bit of a foot race with Blaha. Gets a bump to make a play, finds Saddlemeyer. Saddlemeyer to the point to Ethan Andrews. Now to Demo at the left point. Demo looking for an option. Waits, looks, shoots. That one's on, he scores! And either Demo scored it or Noah Asmundsen. It looks like it was tipped by Asmundsen, who has his second of the tournament. And Mr. Power Play in the SJHL has a power play goal. And that was the first power play goal of the tournament for the SJHL. And another point for Russ Demo, who just continues to have a terrific tournament. And the Estevan Bruins power play superstar Noah Asmundsen, who's got 10 power play goals already in the SJHL regular season, tips it in to make it 1-0 for SJ here with 4 minutes just about gone in the first period. Perfect shot, perfect tip by Noah Asmundsen. Perfect shot by Russ Demo from the point is Harkness trying to scoot back, and he does just in time to get that icing right off the top. But just a great job of working that power play around Demo from the top of the circles. And a great net front presence from Asmundsen. Was in the KIJHL BC Junior B a year ago in Columbia Valley. Lit it up there, the Regina kid. And he's really took off with the electric offense of the Estevan Bruins. And big piece here as well for SJHL, Noah Asmundsen. Ruda trying to find it in his feet. Puts it right on to Holtvoet. Rebound on, they score! And not a great job of anybody on the SJHL team, really, for boxing out. It's a soft shot by Ruda. And then Burnett was there to clean up the mess. And just like that, Czechia ties it on just their second shot. As it was kind of a knuckle puck that went towards Brady Holtvoet, and he just kind of kicked it out, and Bernat finished it like a grown man should. Banging it out in front. And just like that, it's 1-1. And Tomasz Bernat with the goal for Czechia to tie this one up as the faceoffs just outside the SJHL zone. So the SJHL, they always talk about how you're always a little bit in trouble right after you score a goal. You can't feel too good about yourself. Little forecheck there by Zayden Saddlemeyer. Great job by him. One thing they teach in Melfort, it's forechecking, and he did that really well. The long wrist shot from the point by Granger is tipped up and out of play. 15-18 to go in the first period. 1-1. Asmundsson for the SJHL, Bernat for the Czechia. As, to be honest, from my vantage point, just if I'm being completely an unbiased observer for a second, I do believe these are the two most talented teams in the tournament, though I'm sure Sate would love to say something about that. Eisner, Kucharik sends that one up. Little power move out in front. That one's off the right pad of Holtvoet, and he made a nice save as the rebound came right out again, and Holtvoet able to kick that one out with his right toe. And a good confident save there as Adam Januszek used his size and strength to go wide, pounded on the right pad of Holtvoet, and the rebound looked like it was there for Januszek to bang it in too. But here's Drew Moldy down the right wing. Moldy in, looks, shoots, blocker saved by Klika. Moldy pokes that one to the other corner. Blaha's gonna try to spin that one away, and he looks like a shifty little defenseman for the Czech team, and he's behind his own net. Anthony Campbell watching him close. 5.5 minutes, fast hockey here in Camrose, Alberta. The 2026 Viking Cup. That puck just bounces away from Zawatsky. Holtvoet plays it to the corner. It's picked up here by Marcel, and it's going to be down the ice. And Klika's going to hang on to it behind his own net, just leaves it there for his defenseman Piszkacz. Czechs now will go to the attack. Here comes Marcel. He throws that one into the corner. Andrews is going to try to spin it back for Harkness. He finds Rylan Williams. Williams to the neutral zone. Looking for that little chip was Campbell. Tried to play it along the wall. I don't mind that. Finds Williams just offside to Zawatsky. Maybe jumped a little too early. Otherwise, Zawatsky might have been in alone. But the Czech saved by the bell right there. Also like to say hello to my co-director of media with the SJHL, Clark Monroe. Watching, I suppose, from Regina. Russ demo has been very good, Clark. I know you're a fan, as am I. Kid always has a smile on his face. Granger chips into the corner there for Joey Lees. Now Henriksen out in front. Little swing and a miss there. And now the Czechs have the SJHLers caught 3-on-2. Long shot there by Ruda. Was fanned on in the end. As trying to work his way along the half wall was Bujak. Bujak loses out to Arbery, and Joey Lees will take off. Henriksen now left side, chips it in to the Czech zone, and Klika will play that one against Joey Lees on rushing pressure. Lees throws it out in front. It's off of a leg into the neutral zone, where the SJHL able to regroup it. Brendan Olson trying to settle this one down. He's being bothered a little bit there by Blaha. Now pulling it away there is Pastor, and he'll try to spin it back. The Czechs can take off now. It is Bukal. Bukal down the right side, looking to evade a loose stick that was dropped in the back left corner in the SJHL zone. And that kind of allowed Brendan Olson to pull this puck away. He's got Van Egger ahead of him. Bo Eisner now will chase after it, but Blaha will pull it away. Now he's got a breakaway feed there looking for Suchor. Shot from a acute angle. Wasn't too hard either. And Foltvold able to kick to the corner. One thing about Brady, as good of a goalie he is, he hasn't played a ton of minutes overall this season. Just kind of waiting for his time behind Ravensburg and, of course, the superstar goalie in Prince George. And then, of course, comes to Humboldt, and he's got a superstar goalie there too. Egger trying to step around Pishkach. Lost the edge, and Suchor will send that one forward. Now it's Boston Harkness of the Melville Millionaires. Pulls that one along, and Asmundsson has it bounced poorly on him. Januszek able to jump him on that route. Now it's played the other way, and Harkness will chip it up to the neutral zone. Trying to find Josh Sale spinning away. And the whistle goes as it's offside against the Czechs with 11:40 to go. And Czechs have like 5 coaches on their bench. So I kind of was seeing the Czech team in the breakfast area the last couple of days at the hotel, and I was like, man, these guys look old, but it does look like they do have a ton of coaches. So they got 5 coaches and a cameraman on their bench right now. Of course, the SJHL is head coached by Drew Kosher, the head coach and GM of the Estevan Bruins, assisted by Turner Ripplinger, who assisted him last year with the Bruins, and Jaden Villafane, the trainer, the equipment manager, the athletic therapist for the Kindersley Clippers. Has been unbelievable. Jaden has done a great job for Kindersley and the SJHL. Jobanek got that shot off, went off a leg, though, to the corner, and now it's pulled away by Asmundsson in the neutral zone, trying to settle that one down, but he lost the handle, and Czechia will regroup it here. Asmundsson makes that turnover, backhand on, he scores! Noah Asmundsson out of nothing, and he just keeps putting the puck in the net. Noah Asmundsson once again is 12th. He is 12 in the SJ. He's got 2 here in 2 games, and it's 2-1 SJ. And if you didn't think that the Estevan Bruins were for real, well, Noah Asmundsson is really showing what they can do as a team here with Rylan Williams and Ethan Andrews, big parts of this team, also with the Estevan Bruins. And Noah Asmundsson came in to replace his team's real big superstar, Ewan Rennie, who was injured. And he has come in and said, hey, I'm just as big of a star. That one was behind Klika, almost fell just on a dump in and almost rolled in too. 10:50 to go in the first period. 2-1 SJHL. Noah Asmundsson has both of the SJHL's goals so far. Just a great forecheck, lifted a stick, went in through the backhand, high to the glove side on Klika, and made it 2-1 for the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. As Darren Drug, his one of the guys who really do a lot to help out with the Estevan Bruins, paying attention as well. Paul says he's from White City. You're absolutely right, Paul. I apologize. As White City is essentially Regina, by the way. Here is Reed Arbery to the point. That one sails on Novak. Here is Burnett, and he'll regroup it. This one is handled by Filip Novak. Now Jan Ruda will chip that one forward, only as far as Arbery, though, and he'll knock it back into the Czech zone. And another big key, other than discipline for this SJ team, don't turn pucks over. This Czech team can really fly in transition. Ruda given a hard shove by Sam Ward right there, and then Ward gives him another shot on the way by. As much as Ward is an offensive guy, he's got a real temper, and he'll throw that one in deep. Former assistant captain with the Wenatchee Wild in the Western Hockey League, is little retaliation from the Czechs there as Ward behind the play was taken down, but I think they're going to call incidental minors here as Egger having a word with Sikora. Egger, of course, teammates with Sam Ward in Swift Current with the Broncos. And Burnout's going to go off for Czechia as well. Ward took a penalty for the SJHL 10 seconds into game 1 against Midland. 9:47 to go in the first period. They're talking it over whether there's going to be a power play or not. Ward kind of took a couple of shots at Ruda away from the play, and Ruda kind of retaliated. And you know what? Like, I really don't mind that first period. Make sure these Czechs know that this team is not going to be pushed around. There are 2 2-minute penalties on the board, so it might be 4-on-4 here. Sam Ward mentioning having a wonderful season for Flin Flon, 8 goals, 11 assists as a defenseman for 19 points. And played in the Western, or in the BCHL, pardon me, as well, with Merritt, Vernon, and Victoria. 92 games in the regular season in the Western Hockey League. Boys, he's a skilled kid, but as I said, he's got a temper. I think we got the officials' timeout here as well. 2-1. The SJHL leads Czechia. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Tell your friends. Noah Asmundsson continues to fly. Faceoff's going to come up to the right of Philip Klika in the Czech net. Zayden Saddlemeyer will step in here with Van Egger for Team SJHL. Boston Harkness and Ethan Andrews are at the points. SJHL were in the same whites that they did yesterday. I think they'll only get to wear their blues on New Year's Eve to start with. They're sitting around their nice jerseys, by the way, but they're just the away team, I guess, twice. That doesn't really matter. 4-on-4, lots of space here. Philip Novak out there. The Czechs have tons of speed. They're going to be trying to use this more open ice here. As although one of the top Czech forwards is in the box in Bernat. Harkness misses the net on purpose, trying to get a good bounce for Saddlemeyer. Make sure you check out SJHL social media. I posted a podcast Viking Quest episode I did with Zayden earlier today, and he is very well spoken. Little tackle behind the net there by Novak on Boston Harkness, but Ethan Andrews comes up with it behind the SJ net. Egger giving a bump, it leaves the puck there neatly for Saddlemeyer. Now Harkness, little spinorama, little forearm shimmy to the face, not called there on Pishkosh, who got his arms right up on Boston Harkness, and no call right there. That should have probably been a penalty, but none forthcoming as the Czechs go to the counterattack. Hard chase, hard rush up the ice here as the Czechs try to make a move. That's out in front. A nice left pad save there off of Sikora by Brady Holtvoet. And it was Samuel Kucharik who busted his way up the ice. Made a nice save. Forced a nice save from Brady Holtvoet, young prospect of the Prince George Cougars of the Western League. But really, really nice kid. Obviously on the quieter side, only non-2005 birth year on this SJ team. He let that first one in, and again, probably a situation where there was more on the defenseman for the SJHL to tie up their men in front than in anything he did wrong. Face-off won cleanly by the Czechs, though. Long shot. That one out of play right there. That was a long wrist shot off the stick of Dominic Bujak. So the face-off will come again to Holtvoet's left as the SJHL puts Asmundsson out there to take the face-off. Asmundsson and Sale for the SJHL with Granger and Russ Demo. Kucharik wins it for Czechia, though. Sikora's shot, wrong wrist shot into the glove there of Holtvoet. As SJ going to give now Joey Lee's a chance as the SJ trying to win a face-off here in the D zone. And because it's on the other side, Joey Lee's of the Flin Flon Bombers came on to take this face-off against Kucharczyk, pardon me. Here is Gavin Granger behind his own net. He's got a hard forechecker, no time and space. As Jobanek was right on him. The Czechians just right up in your face. They don't let you break this puck out. They'll send two guys on a 4-on-4 and force you to move that puck through them. Very, very aggressive forechecking team for Czechia. Here's Demo, the Calgary native, behind his own net. Up the wall to Granger. Lee stays onside. Out in front, the backhand by Sale. And a big save right there is going hard to the net was Kucharczyk, and he went into his own goalie. As Josh Sale with a terrific scoring chance. He had a whole bunch of good scoring chances. Did Sale yesterday, did get a goal, but he could have had 2 or 3 more. 7:55 to go in the first period. The shots are 7-4 in favor of Czechia, but 2-1 for the SJHL on 2 goals by Noah Asmundsson as the faceoff's going to come to the left of Klika. Campbell and Williams out there, the former teammates with the Battlefords North Stars. Ethan Andrews and Bo Eisner on the blue line. Here is Rylan Williams. Leaves it there for Anthony Campbell. Plays to the half wall for Williams. To the top of the zone for Bo Eisner. He'll play that one into the corner. Campbell try to chip that one for Williams at the half wall, but it's pulled away by Kucharczyk, and he'll send it into the SJHL zone right off the toe of Holtvoet. Here's Ethan Andrews. He's kind of double teamed by a couple Czechs, but did move the puck to his Estevan teammate, Rylan Williams. Looked like Zawatsky got his leg out in time to avoid that offside, but the linesman does not agree. 7:25 to go in the first period. 2-1 in favor of the SJHL. Both goals by Estevan Bruins centerman Noah Asmundsson. A lot of people mentioning me about the Flow hockey stream. But that has nothing to do with me, to be honest. This one is one down into the Czechian zone, and they'll just try to regroup it again as it's popped up in the air into the SJ zone, offensive zone again. It's going to be picked up here by Marek Blaha. Blaha, he can motor. He's going wide, little shifty defenseman. Plays it the left side for Marcel. Marcel trying to play that one into the middle. Was well defended in the end by Eisner. That guy almost never puts a foot wrong, either here or in the SJHL. Here is Eisner now. He'll wind it up. The 2-time defending SJHL champ with Melfort. Zawatsky trying to get that one in deep, but he runs into a couple red jerseys. Does flip it to Saddlemeyer, who's under pressure. Gets it away, though, to Harkness, who lost an edge. A couple times Boston's lost an edge in this game. Ruda, nice little feed to his man steaming up on him. There was Bukal. Now down low it goes for Harkness, trying to bang that one up along the wall. And I wonder if there's maybe something wrong with Boston Harkness's skates, as he's kind of fell at bad moments a couple times in this game already. Sam Ward back out there after serving his incidental minor, as Egger was kneed hard and not a penalty there. I don't know how that is not a penalty for a low blow, but if the referees are going to call the game like this, it's going to be big time advantage Czechia, just letting everything go, and the Czechians taking liberties. And we knew they would try on this young SJHL team, but no call there once again. Saddlemeyer pokes at it, couple chances, jams away at it, and Klika having trouble handling that bouncing puck. Van Egger was low-browed really badly by a Czech player, knee on knee. Type of hit that can end a guy's career, and the official hearing it from the SJ bench, but not going to get a call. And Van is really hot under the weather right here, under the collar here. Really should have been a penalty, but I'll leave it there. Face off to the right of Klika. 5:43 to go in the first period. And one thing to think about too is these officials trying to make the Czechs feel welcome. Getting away with some foolishness right there. Maybe part of the equation. I'll just leave it there. Here's Demo. 2-on-1 as Demo tried to step up. The shot midsection of Holtvoet. And a nice save it was on the counter-attacking opportunity. Right there for Filip Petrosek. As face-off will come to Holtvoet's left. Asmundsson sitting on a hat trick here in the first period. They'll take on the Czechs' best face-off man, Samuel Kucharczyk. Face-off won by Kucharczyk, right into the glove of Holtvoet. And he hangs on for the whistle. But one thing we know is this SJHL team able to give as much as they get from this much older Czechian squad. Samuel Kucharczyk, a 2002 birth year. Plays for another team in Prague, capital city of Czechia, the Kings. This one played along the wall, trying to get that one forward is Kucharczyk. The shot is off a body in front off the stick of Taborski. It hit Granger, and then the backhand from Henriksen into the SJHL bench. Almost hit Drew Kosher there. Kucharczyk, as I said, played for the UK Kings Praha. 15 points in 9 games for them this year in the Czech University League. Big time scorer, 23 years old. Face off to the left of Holtvoet. As Joey Lees does win this face-off against Jan Marcel. Here's Harkness. He finds a Reed Arbery as the Flin Flon line out there with Colin Henriksen of the Yorkton Terriers, Ethan Andrews and Boston Harkness, the blue line. Marcel takes that one away from Andrews. Andrews trying to battle it away from him, gets some help from Harkness in front, bumps it there to Arbery, and it's just out of the reach of Henriksen. It's going to be in a counterattack here for the Czechs again. Going to throw that one out in front. Off a leg, though, and it goes wide. That was sent out in front by Janok, and it's going to be Marcel up on the forecheck again. Here comes Ethan Andrews. Played for 4 SJHL teams is Ethan Andrews. Harkness below the goal line. Leaves it for Arbery. Trying to get that one out in front. Blaha throws it behind him as it's going to be Pishkach taking off. He's got Bernat. Bernat now right wing into the SJHL zone. Swings and misses as Holtvoet will poke it to the corner. Now Reed Arbery looking for it. Trying to settle that one down was Eisner, pardon me, but it sails away from him. Now out in front it goes. Chance on into a couple bodies and a great shot blocked there by Arbery. He ate that puck. Going to get this one through traffic along high riser Jan Bukal, but just went wide. What a great shot block at the side of the net there by Arbery. He's still feeling it there as Arbery, as Anthony Campbell takes off. And Campbell will just send it right onto Klika. We'll play that into the corner. 3:35 to go in the first. 2-1 SJHL. Here's Ryland Williams. Plays it down low for Campbell. Looking out in front for Ward. The shot is on. He didn't get a lot on it. Klika was able to poke it away. Now down low is Ryland Williams. Bad angle shot right into the coat of arms on the chest of Klika's jersey, and he hangs on. Little piece of history. Here's a history lesson with Nugsy coming up. The Czech coat of arms represents the different principalities that make up the current Czechia state. Used to be called the Czech Republic. They want to be called Czechia now. By the way, that's why I'm calling him Czechia. Bohemia, Moravia, Silesia are the 3 symbols on their chest. So there's a little history lesson for you. Demo plays that one down low to Sawatsky in the corner. Zawatsky looking for an option. The right point for Demo. D to Ward. Ward will backhand it right into the chest of a Czech player, and Pastor will flip that one forward. Don't see Sam Ward make a poor decision at the point too often. Here is Campbell. Got to get that one in deep, but the blue line doesn't do it. Demo there to help out as the last man back. And Williams will back off and smartly make a line change. Van Egger, the first shift out there, is taking that knee on knee. And the Czechs will look to break it out. They have loved to stretch that zone. Petrusek tries to negate the icing. He does. The shot, and that was a bullet. But right into the glove of Brady Holtvoet, who looked like he was out for a walk in the park. And Gavin Granger having a friendly conversation with a Czech player in the corner. That's Philip Petrusek having a word there with Granger. I knew, Darren, you'd agree with me about that neon Van Egger. That was pretty brutal. But there you have it. Face off to the right of Holtvoet. 2:30 to go in the first. Kucharczyk, every time it's an offensive zone draw, he comes out. He's been money on the dot for Czechia, but this time it's Zayden Saddlemeyer who wins it. The Melfort Mustangs forward. He's out there with Brendan Olsen of Nipawin, Van Egger of Kindersley. Saddlemeyer turns that one over. Was hooked up, no call again, as the Czechs will back up the other way. Well, check there by Egger on Januszek, who retaliates again. and this one is out of play. And one thing I will say, too, the officiating in this tournament, they have tried to let it go as much as possible, which is fair enough, as long as they do it both ways. But Van Egger is not feeling happy about the officiating right now. But there you have it. Kucharczyk is out there. Takes the draw against Asmundsson, and Asmundsson wins it just outside the SJHL zone. Kucharczyk pokes it away from Asmundsson, but it's right to Gavin Granger. He'll bump it up to Asmundsson. Moldy, little spinway there. Here is Josh Sale. Try to throw that one out in front, and the Czechs come back the other way. Little knee on knee again, Moldy, but it's going to be backhanded right on to Holtvoet, and he made a nice save on the captain of Czechia right there, who steamed in. That was Daniel Pichkach, who busted in right after another questionable hit on Josh Sale. And the SJHL is just going to have to weather this physical storm by the Czechia team. Face-off coming to the left of Holtvoet. 2-1 SJHL. The shots are 13-8 in favor of Czechia. A rare offensive zone face-off for Czechia without Kucharczyk on the ice. It's going to be Jan Janok who's going to take on Reed Arbery on the draw after Joey Lees was kicked out. Henriksen does bump it along to the wall, and it's to the neutral zone. Picked up here by Bujak, and he'll flip that one forward. Bernat looking for that loose puck, but it's intercepted by Arbery. Ruda gives Lees a shove as he'll just play it right onto Klika, who plays it the other side. Janok loses the handle. Here's Reed Arbery. Plays it down low to Lees. Lees looks out in front, was trying to play it back to Arbery. Tylen Henriksen maybe got a piece of that one, tried to chip it over Klika. Lees into the middle of the ice, right to Janok, though, and he'll play it up. But the SJHL making the Czechs play in the defensive zone a little bit here right now with 1:09 to go in the first period. Make sure you stay tuned in the first intermission. I'll play an interview we did on the SJHL Insider Show with the Movember Canada boss Todd Minerson, just talking about men's health and what the SJHL did for Movember back in November. It was absolutely a terrific initiative. Raised a ton of money for men's health. Granger out there with Harkness down low. Harkness trying to dig it free. He's being bothered by Kucharczyk. Now it's going to be played up the wall, and Zawatsky will do the little flipperoonie, get it down the ice, and Blaha has to go back. And boy, the icing, what a smart little play that was by Jai Zawatsky of the Yorkton Terriers. But now steaming away is Marek Blaha. Blaha steps in. Kucharczyk, though, on the delayed offside. With 23.3 seconds to go. Got a real kind of gritty feel this game does. I wouldn't say playoff perhaps, but maybe a little bit tense, a little bit nervous. You could feel the tension in the air. The SJHL certainly not been overawed by the Czech national team jerseys that they're facing here, though. Here is Pastor, and I didn't think that they would really. They didn't. I don't have that in their DNA. They've come and taken a lead here on Czechia. Pichkach sends that one right on to Holtvoet. 5 seconds to go as Egger and Pichkach having friendly conversation in the middle of the ice. Olsen a little flipperoonie, but it's not going to have enough time as Pichkach tried a little late check on Egger. Little blow by, and Pichkach and Van Egger having a word here, and Van's got to keep his head there as Pichkach, little slap shot on his stick, and Sam Ward having another word with the captain of Czechia. And the officials, I know they're trying to let things go, but there's also an element maybe of trying to keep control of this game, because a bunch of SJHLers don't love how the Czechians have gotten away with a lot of things in the first period, but still the SJHL takes the lead to the intermission, and the shot's 13-8 in favor of Czechia. Brady Holtwood had to make some good stops, but Noah Asmundsson has both goals, and it's 2-1 SJHL. As we go to the intermission break, here is Todd Minerson from Movember, Canada. Give it a listen.
Inside the ICAST Media Studios, myself, Jamie Neugebauer here, joining the video chat now is Movember Canada Director Todd Minerson. Todd, we chatted last year. We had such a great time, so I'm super pumped that you're back with us again this year. And I know Kelly Lewick's not here today. He's kind of our ringleader when it comes to Movember. He's in Vancouver or something like that.
He's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit, but
That's a lame excuse.
tell me about it. Anyways, he's got the big bushy mustache going already. Of course, he does it every year. I'm a little bit more subdued right now. Nugsie's got it going on a little bit. This is a little bit different right now. So I went clean shaven. I cheated last year and I started early, Todd. And I maybe should have thought about doing it again, but it's okay. It's all for a very good
never
cause.
prosper.
So Todd, I guess my first question to you is, it's Movember time. Obviously, we did a great job last year as a league, $21,000 towards the cause. Who, what, why, where, when is Movember? Can you give us the big kind of mission statement here?
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy to be chatting with you guys again too. Such a blast last year, and the SJHL just really showed up big time for men's health, and it was an amazing year last year, and we're back at it again. This is 19 years now in Canada where Movember's been working those mustaches and having fun doing good for men's health. It's an incredible commitment from the entire country. We've got about 39,000 people signed up across Canada right now to participate in Movember this year. And, that ethic of having fun and doing good and bringing some awareness to a really, really important issue, which we learned a lot more about this year in some of the work we did, is not going away. And it's these kinds of conversations that keep it happening across the country. And it's just been such a blast doing work with you guys.
Yeah, Todd, we've had fun too. And, I know everybody out there, wants to be on board and agrees with, what it is that Movember is trying to do. But the question that I get a lot, and I'm sure you do too, is when people donate, where does that money go to, and how does it, very physically in a very practical way, make a difference?
Yeah, well, we couldn't do any of it without that money and support. And it's the money, but it's also the conversations too, right? So, Jamie, the money is transformational for men's health in Canada. Canadians have raised through Movember over $110 million for prostate cancer research in this country. It's the second largest amount of money donated to prostate cancer aside from the federal government of Canada. So that's huge. There's nobody else there filling that void for the 1 in 8 men in Canada who are going to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. And that's just one of the areas that we work, right? We're working in mental health and suicide prevention. We have the only national campaign around testicular cancer, which is super important for your audiences because it's the #1 cancer for young men under the age of 35. And, we have a big campaign called Know Thy Nuts. I want to see if I can make Clark giggle with that one, but he's there, just a little one. But it's that kind of thing that we're the only ones out there doing this stuff on. And then not even to mention the work around mental health and suicide prevention, because, tragically, Jamie, we know 3 out of every 4 suicides in this country are committed by men. And it's an issue that we really, really need to start working with young guys early around their mental health. And one of the new initiatives, to give you a really concrete example, is just, in your neck of the woods, it's a partnership with the Western Hockey League, where we're bringing a program called Breaking the Ice, which is a mental health resiliency program, to every player in that league, all of their parents, and all the coaches. And it's to help build that toolbox for young guys who start experiencing mental health challenges or ups and downs, and really trying to give them the tools early on so that as those progress in their life, they're well equipped to deal with them. We don't end up with these tragic circumstances.
So Todd, I guess one thing that obviously in November every year, tomorrow is Remembrance Day. Obviously it's a time for reflection and remembering those who sacrificed a lot for us. For me this year, and even into last year a little bit, it also was a good time for me to reflect on some changes and some things that have gone on in my life in the last little while. And with Movember kind of being wrapped into where I'm going with this, it's a good time to also remember and reflect on, like you kind of mentioned, some people maybe that we've lost to some really tough circumstances. Do you have a personal story, Todd? Because I know getting involved with Movember must be more than just a job for you, or must be more than just a title for you. There must be some more to it. Do you have a personal story that you can reflect on, or maybe something that you can reflect on?
Yeah, 100%, Clark. I mean, Chief Mustache Farmer is pretty cool to put on LinkedIn, but
Yeah.
it's not the main reason why I do this. You know, there's a couple personal things just in my own life. I've got a 19-year-old son who's starting to put those good practices into place about taking care of his health, you know, making regular doctor appointments and following up on them, even when it's a pain in the you know what, and you got to wait around and all that. I got an 83-year-old dad who's more and more connected to the healthcare system for different things. But you know, most closely to me, I lost my best friend last fall to kidney cancer. I'm going to use quotes kidney cancer. That was what it said on the, you know, the death certificate. But by the time he went to the hospital and started to get some help, he was gone 9 days later. And that's just a sign of how much work we have to do around making sure men know what preventative health is for them, making sure that their experiences with the healthcare system are positive. I know my buddy Neil had a lot of really negative interactions with the healthcare system before that time. And all of these things that we have, all these ideas and stereotypes that we have about being a man means that you got to be tough or you got to, like, you know, walk it off or all these kinds of things, they're not helpful for us. And they're for sure not helpful for the people who love us. So yeah, it is personal. And that's why I have this embarrassing, shifty, shady mustache only on the 10th. It's taken me a long time to get it in this year. Unlike our buddy Jake there, you know, it's looking good.
One of the biggest things for me personally with the Movember movement over the last decade or so is that the conversation has really expanded, and it's really been something that, like, a lot of men in my life and around me have really opened up more about. And I think that in itself is a very, very impactful. Not just, like Jamie said, the money, the practical dollars raised, but the conversation and opening up. And like you said, maybe that getting rid of that thing where we have to be so tough that we can't talk to each other, I think has been maybe a little bit even more impactful, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would totally agree. And sorry about that technical difficulties.
No, it wasn't your fault.
Wasn't your fault.
It wasn't your fault.
I was having like heart palpitations going, like, oh, what's going on? But anyways, you're right on, Clark. It's you know, the conversation is half the battle, and that's one of the great things about the mustache. It's kind of like an entryway into having that, and a way to not take yourself so seriously. But I would say we probably do, like, I don't know, 200 health talks around the country every year. Businesses, schools, with teams in different leagues, and almost every time we finish one of those health talks, somebody is like keen and eager to share their story. And for me, that's such a amazing part of the Movember magic, but it's also a really important sign to me that I think men are ready and willing to have these kinds of conversations. They really want to. There's a real hunger for change and for being more proactive about our health and being able to talk about our mental health. For a lot of guys, just having that opportunity or a little bit of that courage to do it for the first time is makes all the difference. And there's been a lot of people who have been working hard to make sure that happens. And if the Movember community has helped in that way, in any way, shape, or form, it's something that we're really proud of.
Yeah, no, just the last one from me, Todd. Thank you again so much for this and so much for what you do. But I guess just I wonder why, you know, specifically Movember has decided to invest so much, you know, in the SJHL, and how much of that is the relationship with Kelly, but also just everything that we're doing as a league.
Well, Jamie, it's so important. You know, one of our philosophies is to kind of go where men and boys are, right? Mm-hmm. We know that waiting for them to come to us is not going to help us have those conversations or solve any of these problems. And so when folks like you have developed such an important community and such a connection in a way that we could never hope to replicate, there's just an amazing opportunity to collaborate and work together and partner on it. And, you know, I thought we were coming on today to talk about the humble PP2, or, you know, like the...
well, we can.
Ryder Knutson is so underrated, okay?
We can if you want.
He's good.
But at the same time, like, that's kind of my point. As you guys know, I'm a jokester, but it's kind of the point. If you can talk about hockey and health at the same time, it's amazing. If you can talk about music, or if it's gaming or esports with young people at the same time as saying, hey, it's important to talk about your mental health, you're going to be miles down the road compared to putting a poster up in a bathroom or a locker room somewhere and making a young person try to have that conversation themselves. So you guys just do such an awesome job building that community out there that it's a no-brainer for us to invest the time and love with you on the work that you guys are doing.
Well, perfect. I appreciate that. And so one last one for me then, Todd, and we'll let you get going. What do you think about Humboldt's second power play? No.
It's working fine, clearly.
The last one I was going to mention was we talked a lot about the positives, the growth of this movement, the things that have been going well, the money that's been raised, the conversations that have been had. What are some challenges that we're still working with in today's day and age with this? What's the next steps for Movember in terms of maybe where this is going?
Yeah, that's a really great question, Clark. I mean, one of the things we learned this year is we released a report in June called The Real Face of Men's Health. And it was a real effort for us to try to say, hey, we're not just prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, suicide prevention anymore. We're looking at all of men's health. And the findings from that were a little bit, challenging to take. 2 out of every 5 men dying prematurely. In 2023, that was 75,000 men in Canada that we lost before the age of 75. And not only was it the first kind of effort to really see the scope of where men's health is at in this country, but it was a wake-up call for us that we can't do this alone. It's not just going to be a one mustache at a time kind of solution for this, amazing as that is. So in the past 6 months, we've started talking to federal and provincial governments for the first time about a need for a national men's health strategy. We started to understand where different systems are breaking down for men and not working. So guys that are trying to get help before their mental health challenges escalate, but the help they're getting is not working for them. And really trying to figure out if there's bigger solutions that we can help mobilize, not just with the 35, 40,000 Canadians that are part of Movember every year, but with governments, with corporations, with healthcare systems, because that's the way that we're really going to help men live healthier, longer lives.
Perfect. Well, Todd, appreciate you so much, and we're going to do our best. What's the best way that people at this point can get involved on November 10th to get either involved the way we're doing in participating or donating, or what's the best way?
Yeah, it's never too late to sign up, even if you need to get a little head start or set a fitness goal for the month. Movember.com is your resource for everything. You can find the SJHL challenge in there, all the different teams. If you want to support your team, make a donation, that'd be amazing. If you want to learn a little bit more about men's health and start having those conversations, that'd be amazing as well. So grow, move, host, talk about PP2s, do whatever you got to do. This is the chance to make a difference for men's health, and we're grateful for everybody's pitching in.
I'm sure there's like a prostate or testicular cancer joke that we could make with power plays, PP2s at some point, Todd. I'm just going to throw that in there because you made me laugh earlier, so I figured I'd make you laugh now going out. But thanks, Todd. Appreciate you, and we'll keep you updated with everything we're doing over here, and keep doing everything you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate you, and I'm loving watching the highlights as well.
Thanks,
Perfect.
Todd.
Thanks, Todd. All right, welcome back inside the ICAST Media Studios. Myself, Jamie Neugebauer here, joining the video chat now is Movember.
A real treat to have on the line one of the assistant captains of the Weyburn Red Wings, a man who is in the Cantera Seeds Cup final a year ago and played very, very well. And Drew, it seems like you were a rookie a second ago, and now you've been a
So there's just a little tease about what you're going to expect in the second intermission, a little interview that we did with Drew Moldy of the Weyburn Red Wings earlier this season, also on this team at SJHL, and there's been a very good piece of that line in this event with Noah Asmundsson and Josh Sale. Those two Weyburn boys at the Estevan Centerman, I thought they were fast. But then when I see them in person, I'm like, wow, they are really, really fast, and that speed has really helped. Obviously Josh Sale didn't quite work out with him in Humboldt last year, and then moved over to Weyburn. And sometimes the situation, I was talking to him about this, it's not that the old place you were in is bad. It's just sometimes a new situation, a new point of view, a new coaching style, a new situation, new line mates can make such a big difference. And obviously Josh has just been marvelous for the Weyburn Red Wings so far in his time. About 3 minutes on the clock. So I will play the highlights from yesterday's game. That was the win against Midland University in Nebraska. And so give that a watch right now.
Pass in front, and we have a game break. Dug out, Arbery. He goes for a chip pass around Olsen. He meets up, drives center lane, and goal! Driving from his point, Russ Demo. Another Reese. Cross ice dump. Demo works on Wood. Bab behind the goal line. Hood and popped out. Gaffelman tucks this over the shoulder of a sliding Graham Brown, taking this to a 1-goal lead. Not 2 minutes. Sademeyer takes a pass. Ward out last man as Sademeyer had it poked off his stick. He receives a pass off the boards and works back into the Midland zone. Egger leaves it and trickles its way through. Demo with a one-time shot. Gets one through. Kicks to the corners. Ward. He springs. Williams on a break with Olsen on him. He goes backhand in a sprawling save. Lees grabs this draw. Arbery plays it back for Demo. His shot tipped in the high slot. And Arbery gets one to go. Demo kicked way off the glass by Kapowski. Ward from the corner. He centers. Sademeyer takes it. Backhand shot just misses wide of the glove side. Eisner keeps a puck at the half wall. Gets a puck back up to Ward at the point. Sademeyer down low. Top in front. And a tic-tac-toe play puts the under 20 selects. Gone behind the goal line and up to the point. Held in by Ward. His shot weakly off to the side of Kapowski. This time Ward keeping it in the zone again. Finding Sale. Sale can't get a shot off. Finally does. Gets another whack at it.
And just like that, right off the hop in the second period, just waited for the end of that video, but Ryland Williams jams one in as the puck went up the ice and just flicked it over. Kliko couldn't handle the loose puck. And Ryland Williams, the leading point getter out of all the SJHLers at this event with 43 on the season so far, gives the SJHL a 3-1 lead, 12 seconds into the second period. And Ryland Williams continues his wonderful season for Estevan, 16 goals, 27 assists in the SJHL season so far. And he gets the SJHL off on a quick start here in the second. Kucharczyk leaves that one. Long wrist shot on. Holtfoot has to battle. Couple big red bodies in front. Kucharczyk on the line with Jobanek and Januszek, and they have been the best line for Czechia so far, for sure. And Brady Holtfoot has been really, really comfortable since that first goal that he gave up. But 3-1 now, the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League leads it on a goal from Ryland Williams. Jeannie Bertier, sorry if I mispronounced your last name. Way to go, Williams, no question about it. What a nice kid, too. Ryland always got a smile for everybody. And he stormed in and showed his power forward ability. And the SJHL with a 3-1 lead here early in the second. That was a rocket off the face-off win from number 47 for Czechia. This one's in the neutral zone. It'll flip up the left side. Gavin Granger will bump it there looking for Demo. Arbery will send it in deep, and Kalika will leave it. It's going to be pulled up by Sikora. Turns it over to Joey Lees. Almost had a bend, but the puck kind of rolled away from him, and he was bothered from behind there by Dominic Buyak. Now at the right point for Granger, looking for a lane. Granger, little dance, looking for a lane. He does shoot. That's off the glove of Klika. Klika with the left stick, right catcher. Little backwards southpaw move there. This one's cleared out, and Van Egger will kick that one as far as Granger. And here is Russ Demo. He'll settle it down, go for a skate, knocks it into the corner, and Brendan Olson will leave it. Egger lets it go. It's going to be another 3-on-2 developing here for the Czechia team, as it's into the corner. On the other side it goes, little bump along the wall. That's Wojtek Mateja. Back to the point for Blaha. He tries to dance his way up as there's injured player. That's Brendan Olson, who's going to the locker room. It looks like he doesn't look super healthy. He picked up a bit of a knock against Midland too. Here's Josh Sale on a breakaway, and he put that one high and over the net. Egger, so the SJHL down to 11 forwards for the moment with Nipawin Hawks winger Brendan Olson joining the locker room, and that is not good news. Here is Pastor trying to go wide on Andrews, who lost his twig. As falling there behind the play is Harkness, and here comes Asmundsen, He's stripped by Pastor. Czechia changing as he's looking for some help. Everybody's sticks going flying. A bit of a yard sale out there. Pastor trying to find it in his feet. The veteran line for Czechia trying to get going here with Pastor and Bernat. Looking for that one-timer just out of his reach was Janok. The shot is on. Good defensive play by Andrews in tight on Pastor to dig that one away from the blue paint. So the SJHL will have to deal with 11 forwards, at least for the moment, as Brendan Olson is back on the bench. Hopefully he's going to be all right. Just maybe needs a second. Oh, he was kind of under the weather coming into this tournament as well, but what a committed guy he is. Pishkot's shot is blocked. Sale will bump it to the line. Long shot off a leg, and Andrews to the corner, and up in the air it goes. And Ethan Andrews has not been afraid of the rough stuff in this tournament either. He's not been as dynamic maybe offensively in this game or as he is in the SJHL regular season, but not bothering with the physical play either. And this SJHL decor, you look at them on paper, they are absolutely outstanding to a man. And they have shown that over this event, really been the strongest part, I think, of the SJHL's groups so far. Zawadzki, nice little spinorama to get that one to the neutral zone. And here is Kucharczyk. Leaves it behind him. Trying to dig that one free is Zawadzki. He's hacked down. And finally, Czechia gets a penalty. And it's a hook. Jakub Sikora is going to go off for hooking Jai Zawadzki down. So the SJHL 1-for-1 with the power play. Noah Asmundsen has a power play goal. Not a big surprise to see him score a power play goal. As they're going to go with Joey Lees, with Rylan Williams and Van Egger. Sam Ward and Gavin Granger on the blue line. Great to see Olson, as I said, sitting on the bench. They're not sure if he's about to play or not, but just taking a second. So Lees will step in. 16-16 to go in the second. The face-off won by the Czechs, and it's going to be rocketed down the ice by Daniel Pishkach, and it's going to be handled by Holtvogt. He'll leave it for Sam Ward now. Ward trying to leave it. He takes a hard check and went face first into the glass, and he's getting up gingerly. Not a dirty hit, though, just a bad bounce for him to get face slammed into the glass. And here is Gavin Granger. Bit of a war of attrition here for the SJHL with a 3-1 lead. 15:40 to go in the second period. Here is Granger with Pishkach watching him. To the line it goes. It bounces on Williams, and Sam Ward getting looked at by the trainer there. And I just think he needs a towel in a second more than anything. Here is Ethan Andrews. Wasn't too bad of a hit. He just kind of face hit the glass. Here's Russ Demo now to Josh Sale. Throws it towards the net. Klika, who's kind of fought the puck a little bit tonight, will handle that long shot on with Noah Asmundsen looking for some loose change in front. Mentioned against Midland University, the SJHL, every single player had at least a shot. think I saw Josh Sale had about 7 shots in that game. The SJHL put 54 shots on Midland University, scored 6 goals to win 6-2. Here is Demo after the face-off win by Asmundson. Demo at the power play point. Now the top for Andrews. Little swing and shoots. Asmundson off the post. And he turned and shot that one, clanked the iron. And Asmundson with millimeters away from the Hattie. Just missed on a knuckle puck that handcuffed Klika, but it just hit the post. Here is Demo. The SJHL, the 3-1 lead, looking for more. Asmundson into the corner. Simon Taborski trying to handle that one. It's down the ice, and it's going to be picked up by Holtvoet. He'll play it calmly to Demo. Petrashek gives him a shove, but it's Ethan Andrews behind his own net. Ethan Andrews mentioned 4 SJHL teams in his career. Josh Sale now steams his way through, pulls it back. He's got Williams off the bench. They could tee up Ryan Williams. He is a rocket. Ethan Andrews, the shot, the rebound, and just tripped away from Sale. Otherwise, he would have had an open net. Now the Czechs can attack. 2-on-1. Pastorin shoots, and he missed the net high. And a great chance by Pastor. Wojtek Mateza out there now, but it's going to be pulled away, and Williams will take off as Campbell, has had his stick chopped out of his hands. And right when one SJHL power play ends, another one begins. And it's going to be Wojtek Mateza is going to go off for Czechia with 13:57 to go. Here in the second period, the SJHL 1 for 2 with the power play so far here tonight. And they go back to Joey Lees with Jai Zawatsky, Rylan Williams, Gavin Granger, and Sam Ward. Good to see Sam's all right. Face off to the left of Klika. Great performance again by the SJHL so far in this one. Williams down low, looking for that little give and go with Zawatsky, as Williams has that one go off of his stick and then off the linesman and down the ice. So Sam Ward, being bothered by a big, strong forechecker. Shot towards the net, bad angle. It's in the feet of Holtvoet there. As Ruda turned and shot it and wired it from a bad angle, and it was just kind of caught up in the feet of Brady Holtvoet. He was able to hang on with 13:34 to go in the second, 1:38 to go in the penalty to Wojtek Mateza. Kucharczyk out there on the face-off to the left of Holtvoet, shorthanded offensive zone draw for Czechia, and Kucharczyk wins it, but he wins it so clean it goes all the way down into the Czechia zone. But it's quickly played up by Klika, and they're going to try to kill this puck with Jobanek. Now right side to Bujak. Bujak trying to go wide on Demo. Demo has him all tangled up, trying to kill time in the SJHL zone in the corner to the left of Holtvoet. Jonas Jobanek in there trying to dig it free as well, but it's Zayden Saddlemeyer who leaves it behind him for Russ Demo, and he has it behind the SJHL net. Czechia not waiting on the forecheck. They just go after you. Here's Ethan Andrews busting his way in. He's got Asmundson, leaves it behind him. Nice little play there to Saddlemeyer. Here's Demo. Saddlemeyer at the point, looking for an option. He'll play it to Ethan Andrews. Andrews trying to settle this one down. Little swing, long wrist shot. That one's off a tip there of Asmundson and went wide. And Noah Asmundson giving a bump there. Lost the puck, went down the ice, and Holtvoet almost played that one into Kucharczyk, but it just got away from him. It's going to fall here for Ethan Andrews. He'll wind his way through. SJ needs a change. Henriksen, long wrist shot. Rebound. They score! What a beauty that was! Anthony Campbell on the rebound from the Tullen Henriksen shot. And the man who led the Battleford's Door Stars in goals last year does it for the SJHL here. And Soupy Campbell makes it 4-1 SJHL. And the onslaught on Klika continues. And I think that's going to be it for Klika. They're going to put in Martin Altrichter in net. Henriksen just went in late in the power play, wired it far pad hard, like you do if you're looking for a rebound. And then Anthony Campbell had a rebound on his own side, and he wired it in. and it's 4-1. And Altrichter was pretty solid yesterday against Augustana. Henriksen's shot goes wide, chipped right on. Altrichter with a funny bounce to deal with right away. We have not seen Brendan Olsen back on the ice since he went off hurt. That's the last thing you want to see, is anybody getting hurt. But it's 4-1 for the SJHL here, as Anthony Campbell, absolutely terrific performance again here by the SJHLers. And 7:42, the time of the goal for the Battlefords North Stars centerman. 8 goals, 19 assists for Campbell. He had 20 points in 53 games as a rookie from Fort McMurray in the AJHL a couple of years ago. 29 goals in the SJHL last year, which was 5th most in the league. Little knee-on-knee again there for the Czechs, but it's a 2-on-1 for the SJHL. The shot right off the hop there, and looking for his own offense was Reed Arbery, but a nice shoulder save by Altrichter, who's come in. Little bump there. Nice play defensively by Henriksen to strip his man, and then the pass was errant as Ruda was given a rude shove from Boston Harkness there. Harkness also from White City. Harkness through the middle, trying to weave his way through is Arbery, but Kucharczyk took it away. The pass was right off of Anthony Campbell's helmet. I think he's going to be okay, but just needs a second. Now the SJHL winning the game, but keep losing players, as that clearance just kind of knocked Anthony Campbell in the head. So Jaden Villafane with a lot of work to do on the SJHL bench. Maybe it's just his bucket that needs help. Hopefully that's the case. It was just a random clearing attempt for the Czechs in their zone, just flipped off the face or the head of Anthony Campbell, and he's kind of feeling his melon there. So hopefully Anthony's all right. Just scored a beautiful goal. 11:05 to go in the second. Czechs have been very, very physical. The SJ's speed has really been too much for them to handle, though, so far. Jaden's going to go try to figure out his Anthony Campbell's helmet there. These guys wearing their SJHL helmets, by the way. And great news, Brendan Olsen is back on the ice. So that's great to hear. Face off to the right of Holtvoet. And the SJHL making the Czechs pay for their physicality, 2 for 4 on the power play, or maybe 3 for 4 on the power play here so far today. Saddlemeyer leaves it behind him. That one's a rocket by Granger. Egger at the side of the net just bounces away from him, and Czechia can try to regroup it here. Puck behind the Czechia net. Martin Altrichter, as I mentioned, started their first game. Tough night for Filip Klika in the Czech net. Altrichter, a 25-year-old, plays for the Engineers of Prague. Has experienced the USPHL with the Springfield Junior Picks back in 2018-19. He's played in the French League. He's played in all over the place. Backed up a Czechia top league game for Vitkovica. Long shot from the point there onto Holtvoet. He's able to hang on with Marcel in his face. But yeah, Altrichter with a long career in the Czech second and third league. As I mentioned, 1 year in the States, but certainly their number one goalie, and he's in net here now. As we have the officials timeout, 17-14. The shots favor Czechia, but 4-1 is the score here as we have the officials timeout. 4-1. The SJHL leads it. Noah Asmundsson has 2. Ryland Williams and Anthony Campbell have the others. for Team SJHL, and they have been full value, absolutely, in this one, as the Czech team has not been able to handle their speed. They've tried to bully the SJ, and it turned into power play opportunities for Team SJHL. And official's timeout is done. 9:56 to go in the second period. The face-off to the right of Holtvoet. Thank you so much, by the way, for tuning in. I'm Jamie Neugebauer here on YouTube and Facebook Live with the SJHL. Bo Eisner bangs that one up in the air. Nicely swept away here by Asmundsson down the right side into the Czechia zone. He's tied up with Pastor, pulled away there. And another penalty coming up as Moldy caught up behind the play with the Czech bench, maybe. Szymon Taborski and Drew Moldy are having a conversation in front of the bench of the red-clad Czechia team. Of course, Drew Moldy's bucket maybe fits more on the Czechian head with his red helmet. Moldy and Taborski look like they're both, well, Moldy is smiling, Taborski is not. Taborski's got a full-on beard going. Looks like he's about 50 years old. Not really, but pretty old. Drew Moldy with his mustache probably looks like he would fit in the Czech team too. 9:42 to go in the second, and they're going to be incidental minors. Boy, does that Noah Asmundsson continue to have a tournament. Third goal of the event already in 2 games for the Estevan Bruins centerman. Lee's out there, 4-on-4 situation. Lee's and Arbery, the two Flin Flon boys. Ward as well. Tried to hit Bo Eisner on the far side. Does win it back, though. Here's Arbery. Far side to Eisner. He shoots. He scores! Bo Eisner as the puck flipped to him. Just quick mitts from Reed Arbery to flip it to the right side to Eisner. And it's 5-1 for the SJHL on Bo Eisner's second of the tournament. And the Melfort Mustangs defenseman gets back in on the act. He's had a wonderful offensive season for a Melfort team that's had its troubles scoring goals, but Bo has not. 8 goals, 14 assists for 22 points as a defenseman. He's played 124 SJHL regular season games, 32 playoff games, and 10 Centennial Cup games over his SJHL career has Bo Eisner. That's what comes with playing with the Melfort Mustangs the last couple of years, I guess. Lots of the playoffs. Ward trying to chip that one by Booyak. 5-1 SJHL. And the one thing the SJ's got to think about, too, is keep their head on a swivel. This Czechia team is probably going to not take any prisoners. They haven't all night. But Bo Eisner with a neat finish. And if there's any question about the quality of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, well, this is an advertisement and a half. Have not seen Anthony Campbell back on the ice since he was hit with a puck. But Brendan Olsen has been back, which is good news. Love to hear from you in the comments. She's Glenn Denning, who does absolutely unbelievable job strength and conditioning with the Melfort Mustangs, and just could not be a nicer human being either. Got to meet her a little bit in the finals, Centennial Cup last year. Hello, Chiza. Pastor trying to go wide. Ward watching him, little shove. Turned over in front there almost to the detriment of Holtvoet by Arbery, but that one sailed over the net. Here's Blaha, leaves it for Pastor behind him. Big line out there for Czechia, trying to get something going. Bernat, little give and go, far side. Blaha was the intended receiver, but a great stick by Eisner knocked that one out of play. 8:27 to go in the second period. 5-1, the SJHL leads it. Asmundsson with 2. Rylan Williams, Anthony Campbell, and Bo Eisner with the other ones. And the man who's had the hardest job probably so far tonight has been Jaden Villafane, the trainer for the SJHL. There are many great equipment managers, athletic therapists, trainers in the SJHL, but there's none better than him. He does a wonderful job for the Kindersley Clippers, and he's doing a great job here. Here's Bo Eisner. He'll knock that one in deep. This one's going to be in the feet of Piskac. He's going to pull it back for Czechia. 8 minutes to go in the second. Now 4-on-4 with 15 seconds left in it after Moldy and Taborski's altercation. Henriksen, Zawatsky, little spin back. Left side of the SJ zone. One-timer for Andrews. Just missed the net. Altrichter had to handle that one. Got some help from Piskac, and he'll head up ice. Piskac, right side, looking for Marcel. He's a big boy there is Marcel, cruising his way up. He's watching Boston Harkness, though, as the clearance by Harkness hit the linesman and bounced back into the SJ zone. Linesman did the checks a good solid on that one as the SJ had a little breakout going. Here is Bernat. He shoots, looking for a tip out in front. And the Czechs continue to put on the pressure. Jan Janok gets that one. Holtvod will just cover it. Got a tired group of white-clad SJHLers out there. And he hangs on for the whistle. This SJ will change the D-men. Campbell's back out there too. Great news. Looks like everybody's back on the bench. Anthony Campbell centering this line with Rylan Williams, his former teammate in Battlefords. Another great performance so far for Team SJHL. Shot right on. Ruda will swing at it and hammer it wide of Holtvoet. Januk behind the net, winds his way around. Williams watching him. The wrist shot to the far corner by Januk sails wide of everybody. Long shot looking here. Long wrist shot on. They score! And that was a rocket. Not sure Holtvoet could see it at all. And that was a torpedo by Sikora from the point. And now it's 5-2 as Jan Sikora gets one back for the Czech national team. And 0 Holtvoet could do. He didn't even move. That was a laser beam by Jakub Sikora. And so don't go anywhere. SJHL can't be complacent. Jakub Sikora, an 04 defenseman, goes to an agriculture school in Praha. Has played for Slavia Praha's Division II team as well as the Slavia Praha U20 team. Slavia Praha is good of a system as there is in Czechia. Kucharczyk with a rocket. That was off the crossbar. He pulled and sniped that one off the crossbar there. And out of play with 6:27 to go in the second period. That was an absolute laser beam by Kucharczyk. But clearly Sikora's got some pedigree, the 21-year-old. Ward, that's that one up the wall. Moldy can't get it out. That was clearly a hand pass. As the Czechs bagged it, they're complaining, but they let it go. The faceoff's going to come outside. 6:21 to go in the second. Now 5-2. But the shot clock is not that high for a 5-2 game. 18-15 the shots. Can't really blame Brady Holtvoet for either of the Czech goals, though. Did not see that goal at all. And it's 5-2. 3-0 Canada leads the Danes, by the way, at the World Juniors. Thanks, Leonard Strandberg, for the update. Appreciate that. Ewan Rennie was selected to play, as was Jacob Streetsy of Humboldt, Vinny Palmerine of Warman, and Charlie Tritt of Humboldt, but all pulled out. Ward, little give and go. I think that was a stop by Alt Richter. Alt Richter's played with some Czech youth national teams before as well. certainly a goalie with some pedigree. This one in the corner. Asmundsen knocks his man over. Sale trying to dig for it. Sokor and Sale in the battle, and Josh Sale's going to take a penalty here. So a big kill coming up right now with 5:33 to go. Czechia to their first power play of the game. And with a 3-goal lead for the SJHL, you cannot give the Czechs hope right now on this power play. Kucharczyk as well as out there, as well as Janok, Ruta, Blaha, and Bernat at the point for Czechia as Reed Arbery clears that one. It goes right into the timekeeper's bench. .151 to go in the hooking penalty to Josh Sale, but a huge moment in this hockey game. 5:24 to go in the second period. Face off to the left of Brady Holtvoet. Van Egger is going to take the face off. He's got Boston Harkness to his left, Ethan Andrews to his right, as well as Reed Arbery. Pulled away by Ruda. What a stop! Brady Holtvoet or maybe Van Egger. Not sure if it was Van who saved that or if it was Holtvoet. Either way, that was a spectacular play by the SJHLers to keep it 5-2. 5 minutes to go in the second. Bernat, Blaha at the top looking for a lane. Janok. Ruda now at the left half wall. To the left of Holtvoet. Now Bernat. Back to Ruda looking for an option. He's got Blaha in the middle. He shoots. The rebound. Great battle by Harkness in front to save a goal. Ruda looking, waiting, shooting. And that shot is way over the net. Maybe hit Egger's leg. And the SJHL penalty killers holding on here is Janok again, the shot. That's through traffic. Kucharczyk battling there. Ethan Andrews in the corner, and he'll get that one out. And down the ice is the long change here in the second period. SJHLers trying to get some fresh killers out, and they do great work by Harkness and Andrews in tight against some big boys for Czechia. Just kind of box them out. Let Holtvoet see it and clear the garbage. Henriksen bangs that one along the wall. Granger fronting his man. Now Pichkach at the top. He's got Januszek. Pichkach's shot is off of a leg, and Russ Demo will bounce that one down the ice as the SJ gets another fresh pair out there as Henriksen and Moldy come off, and Brendan Olsen and Anthony Campbell come on. Gavin Granger wires that one along the wall. Doug Free is great job right there by Campbell to chip that one down the ice, and here is Pichkach. 4 seconds to go in a heroic penalty kill for the SJHL as Josh Sale comes out. Petrushek puts that one into the glove of Holtvoet, and he hangs on with 3:29 to go in the second period. Back to 5-on-5, and Holtvoet sharp. And I'm not sure Jan Ruda had Holtvoet dead to rights. I'm not sure if Van Egger dove across or if Holtvoet made a miraculous save. Going to have to look at the replay of that one. Either way, spectacular stuff to save the lead as it is. 5-2, the SJHL leads it over Team Czechia. Face-off won there by Campbell. He's been close to 60% all year in the SJHL. On the dot is Anthony Campbell. Demo in there trying to deal with the forecheck right there. Wojtek Mateza. Here's Sale trying to go wide around his man, Bujak, but he knocks Sale off kilter. Campbell comes up with it. Campbell went on the world right there, so he loses out as Sukor will battle, but Campbell continues to hold the puck up. Here is Egger, chips it up towards the net, and that one wasn't too far off as Egger with a great forecheck with Anthony Campbell and almost had a goal. Ward looking back door for Campbell. Bujak blocks the shot. Ward given a bump there by Jakub Sikora, and it's down the ice into the SJHL zone. Bo Eisner with a goal in each game so far. He'll play that one to Rylan Williams. Williams, 3-on-2, little move to go wide there, but well defended in the end by Shimon Taborski. Egger's got on a mission there in this one, try to pull it away, but he loses the handle, and now it's pulled away by Shikora. Pardon me, Ryruda. He'll knock that one in as Egger will go back. The Czech goaltender Altrichter kind of taps his stick, even though there's nothing to alert his team to. Maybe he's just cheering for them. Here's Rylan Williams to the right point. Blaha turned that one up. Looking the other side, Janok. Janok tried to make a move. That one's a nice save by Holtvogt. Knocked down the ice. And the SJHL needing to kind of hang on here a little bit in the second period. And young Holtvogt making some stops here for Team SJHL. And he has needed to. I'd like to say hello to Leonard Strandberg, who's listening from Goodyear, Arizona. Also, Jeannie Badir, thanks for updating people about you and Rennie. Would have loved to see him here, but don't want to jeopardize what the Estevan Bruins and their fans hope is a long run, of course. Pitchcock's great block by Van Egger. He's going to get stick taps for that. That was a point-blank range shot block by Van Egger on a man who can clearly rip a puck. And Daniel Pitchcock. Ward tried to play that one through. Kucharczyk wasn't able to do it. Egger takes a bump, and it goes off of a linesman and then into the SJHL bench. Maybe hit Turner Ripplinger. 1:27 to go in the second period. SJ would just love to get into the intermission break without anybody else hurt. Looks like everybody's back on the bench, though, Olsen and Campbell included. Face off to the right of Holtvogt. Joey Lees. Alan Henriksen out there. Reed Arbery as well. Two Flin Flon Bombers out there on this line. Arbery trying to get out and block that shot. He does and chips it to the neutral zone as Bukal will go back for Czechia. The Czechs have been on top in the last couple of minutes, especially since their power play, but Holtvogt has been razor sharp, and the SJHLers have been brave to block some shots. Arbery turns that one over to Sukor. Sukor trying to turn that one into the middle of the ice. Lees just does find it, though, and he'll try to wind his way up. Little sweep there to Josh Sale. He scores! Josh Sale with a rocket! What a missile! Low glove side from the left shot, Josh Sale. And the Weyburn Red Wing has a goal, and it's 6-2. And kind of against the run of play with 57.3 seconds to go. Sale has his second of the tournament. He has 14 goals on the year for Weyburn. And it's 6-2 SJ. They were heroic, blocking shots, killing penalties, doing the gritty, ugly things to allow Joey Lees to set up Josh Sale on a beautiful goal here late in the second. And it's 6-2 SJHL. As Harkness trying to dig that one free. Good hard forecheck here for Czechia. That's going to be pulled away, though, by Ethan Andrews, and he'll gallop through the middle. Now he'll snap it into the Czechia zone. Altrichter loses that one to Moldy. Asmundsson out in front. Sale looking for more. Little battle it out in front. And Moldy pushed on top of Altrichter. Now it's getting friendly in front of Martin Altrichter. As 24.3 seconds to go in the second period. The SJHL will have tomorrow off as far as games are concerned. They will practice in the morning and then take on Augustana on New Year's Eve. And it looks like Taborski is going to take a penalty for Czechia, who have been pretty frustrated all night. The SJHL is 3 for 4 with the power play, by the way. You think about who runs all the best power plays in the SJHL. Well, they're pretty much here, so not a big surprise that this team is clicking now. Jody Oakes listening from Moose Jaw. I'm assuming related to the general manager of the team, Rick Oakes, who's also from Moose Jaw. Hannah Grace, who's, I guess, splits her heart between the Melford Mustangs and Humboldt Broncos, says, keep it up, Brady. Let's be honest, Hannah, you're probably a bigger Humboldt fan. But anyways, Rylan Williams will step in. As the Czechs finally getting some punishment for their physicality, we'll call it. Ward, Williams, down low. Lees, that little pop-up one-timer, Zawadzki to Lees, but Altrichter made a good save. That shot's on. Tell you what, SJHL teams have seen Joey Lees in that bumper position making plays like that time and time again. As this goes down the ice and the second period is over, the SJHL holds its nerve, keeps its cool, and gets 4 more goals. Rylan Williams, Anthony Campbell, Bo Eisner, and Josh Sale all have goals. Sikora had the other one for the Czechs, and it's 6-2 SJHL after 2 periods of play. And Jody indeed is Rick Oakes' lovely wife. It's been awesome getting to know Rick. GM of this team helped Drew Kosher, Kyle McIntyre, and company put this team together. As Sam Ward going to have a conversation with the officials in the middle of the ice, probably talking about some of the running around maybe the Czechs have done. But we're going to take a break here and step back and let you meet the forwards and defensemen for Team SJHL. Second period is over. It is 6-2 for Team SJHL here over Team Czechia.
John BC, and I play for the Flin Flon Bombers. Drew Moldy, forward from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, and I play for the Weyburn Red Wings.
Rylan Williams, right wing, Kyle, Saskatchewan, Estevan Bruins.
Hey, I'm Tylen Hendrickson, play left wing. I'm from Foam Lake, Saskatchewan, and I play for the Yorkton Terriers.
My name is Brendan Olson. I'm a forward from St. Albert, Alberta. I play for the Nipawin Hawks.
My name is Noah Asmussen. I play center. I'm from White City, Saskatchewan, and I play for the Estevan Bruins.
My name is Josh Shell. I play left wing. I'm from Prince George, BC, and I play for the Weyburn Red Wings.
My name is Van Hager. I play right wing. I'm from Willowbunch, Saskatchewan, and I play for the Kindersley Clippers.
Joey Lees, centerman from Flin Flon, and I play for the Flin Flon Bombers.
My name is Anthony Campbell. I play center. I'm from Phillipsburg, Quebec, and I play for the Battlefield North Stars.
Jai Zawadzki, left wing, from Yorkton, Saskatchewan, and I play for the Yorkton Terriers.
I'm Zayden Sandomar. I'm centerman from Buena Vista, Saskatchewan, and I play for the Melfort Mustangs.
Ethan Andrews, play defense from Kimberley, BC, play for the Estevan Bruins.
My name's Russ Demo. I'm a defenseman from the Kindersley Clippers from Calgary, Alberta.
I'm Sam Ward. I'm a defenseman. I'm from Kamloops, British Columbia, and I'm on the Flin Flon Bombers.
Hi, I'm Bo Eisner. I'm a defenseman. I'm from Swan River, Manitoba, and I play for the Melfort Mustangs.
I'm Gavin Granger. I'm a defenseman. I'm from Saskatoon, and I play for the Battlefield North Stars.
Boston Harkness, defense from Emerald Park, Saskatchewan. I play for the Melville Millionaires.
Graham Brown, I'm a goalie from Victoria, BC, and I play for the La Ronge Ice Wolves.
Brady Holtvogt, goalie, Humboldt, Saskatchewan, Humboldt Broncos.
Drew, first of all, thanks for doing this. How are you doing? And just take us quickly to that opening weekend series with the Yorkton Terriers and how it went for you guys.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you guys for having me on here today. But, yeah, we obviously had a good start. You know, Friday was first period. We came out a little bit slow, but, you know, they pawed a couple on us. But during the intermission, we kind of had a good chat in the room and found our feet and got it going. You know, it was good out there. We battled back, you know, every shift we were building off each other. Ended up bringing it back into overtime with a power play goal late in the third with a minute left from Pierce, and then took her to a shootout and Burgess, beautiful goal. So yeah, it was good. And then Saturday we just came out flying, had a good start and just kept it going all game. It was definitely fun. It was good. Good start.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, what does a start like that do for you? I know obviously it's a long season, and you move you shift your focus to the next game and in the next opponent. But to be able to get out of the gate like that, how does that sort of what kind of fuel does that give you coming out with a start with 2 wins in 2 games?
I think that's huge. For us to be able to start at the top of the standings, because obviously we're trying to start there and stay there. So we have a good spot in the playoffs in the future. So, just knowing that we have that skill and we can play like that and we can beat teams. So just good confidence and gets everybody going for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for sure, Drew. I got to ask you about the off season. I know you're here in the moment now, but how was it? You're already a third of your way to your career high in goals. Congratulations on that. I'm not chirping you. Very useful player. You were into the finals last year, and I wasn't playing, so don't take it as a chirp. But how was the off season? What did you do to get ready, knowing that you had maybe less time than previous years, and knowing what it takes to to play all the way into the finals now?
Yeah. For the off season, it's just obviously we finished a little bit later than my first year, and time was going by pretty quick here. But yeah, just I was training out in Cairnport with that Prairie. They have a program out there, so just knowing what to work on, like looking back on the finals, and obviously I'm not a huge goal scorer, stuff like that, as you said, but just working on little skills like that and just kind of having meetings with the kind of a leadership group throughout the summer, which is something that we've done, just keeping in touch and stuff like that, and just talking about just kind of the culture and what we want our team to look like this year. So I think that's helped us tremendously, just being able to hit the ground running, I'd think. So yeah, it was good.
That's a perfect segue because you mentioned the leadership group there, Drew, and I wanted to ask you about that because you guys have a little bit of a different setup this year with no captain but 5 different guys wearing A's. So just what kind of dynamic does that create, and how do you how does that leadership, I guess, get distributed throughout the group?
Yeah, obviously we're all leaders in the room. We all try to be leaders, but within our group, we had our voting, and it was, coaches are going to say that it was so close or whatever, but ours was actually so close. So we decided to just kind of Schrader and Sale are going to rotate or alternate an A, and then for the rest of us, we just kind of over the next 10 days, we're gonna see kind of how we react within like game time situations and just that kind of stuff when we're kind of in the heat of the moment, and then we're gonna pick the captain. So yeah,
for sure.
It's good.
Now, obviously, a very specific situation in your room. I was calling the game, when Turner McIntyre got a little tangled up with a Notre Dame guy and fell and had to miss the rest of the year. And I'm sure, maybe you have a different perspective of what happened there than I do, and that's fine. But great to see Turner back, such a contributor. What a great start he had last year. You guys must be thrilled to see him in the room there back playing.
Oh yeah, we're definitely pumped. He's a good guy, great guy to be around. He's fun, and he's a great player. He's got tons of skill. So it'll be good to see what he can do this year.
Drew, you're looking at last year, obviously it was a great run for you guys, but just that one, couple wins shy of the ultimate goal, at least within the league. So, what do you feel needs to happen this year in order to take that final step and claim that Kentera Seeds Cup?
Obviously, I think this year we have kind of a different core group than we did last year. Obviously, last year it was a lot skill and stuff like that, but now they were guys that were coming in and, never had that experience or came back or had that playoff time. So with the group that we have this year, I think just with the amount of experience, we know how much we're going to have to compete and just how hard we're going to have to work. Cause it's crazy. Playoffs and it just comes down to just how much we want it and just the attention to detail and what we're doing away from the ice. Keeping guys healthy is a huge thing during playoffs, long time, lots of games, just making sure everybody's good. And I think if we can do that, then we'll be good because we got a good group rowing the boat here. So it'll be good. I'm excited.
Yeah, perfect. And speaking of excited, we are going to move forward with rapid fire because I love rapid fire questions. So, Drew, I'm going to ask you, I have a couple questions. Are you ready for some of Noogsy's rapid fire?
I'm ready.
All right. So you have to answer quickly. I don't want to hear some long answers here. I'm gonna crack the whip. I'm gonna crack the whip. Who's the biggest clown in the room?
Turner McIntyre.
Oh, perfect. How many birds can you name that have red wings?
How many birds? Oh, 0 off the top of my head.
How about like a cardinal? Like Jacob
Yeah,
Faith's
I
big
guess
football team
Cardinals.
is the Cardinals. All right,
I'm
fair
not
enough.
a big football guy, so.
Red-winged blackbird. Come on.
Red-winged blackbird.
Let's go.
It's okay, Drew. I didn't mean to make you feel bad.
No,
it's all good. Hey, we're helping you learn. We're helping you out.
Yeah.
What is the best chicken wing flavor?
Buffalo.
Fair enough. Boston Pizza or somewhere else?
Boston Pizza's good.
They should sponsor. They're not a sponsor, by the way. I shouldn't be saying their name.
No, they're not.
Yeah, my bad. Faither's gonna go give me a little bit of a flick in the ear later, probably. What's your go-to late night team roadie gas station snack?
Oof. Oh wow. I'm gonna go with cherry cola and some beef jerky.
Oh, love me some beef jerky, no question. What's one thing that Cody always seems to be saying on the bench, and do you think you can do an impression?
I would say getting the hash marks or back through the middle. Back checking through the middle.
There you go. Fair enough. And then the last question is, who other than the Weyburn Red Wings has the nicest jersey in the league? Because I think the jerseys in the league look phenomenal this year.
Yeah, that's a tough one. There's been some good. I think honestly the Terriers ones that when they were at home, I really like those jerseys.
There you go. They were staring you down the face, and I'm sure you made some friends on that Yorkton team wearing that jersey, because that is one of the things that I love about your game is you're good at making friends, if you know what I'm talking about. Drew Moldy, it is an honor to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time, and all the best moving forward.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. That was Drew Moldy of the Weyburn Red Wings.
Now to our interview here with Commissioner of the SJHL, Kyle McIntyre. Kyle, it's time for the mid-season report. We always love the mid-season catch-up with you. First off, how's it going where you are, weather-wise? Are you surviving? Are you under 10 feet of snow? Where are we at with you?
Well, yesterday, guys, as I was telling you, it was +6 for most of the day in Swift Current. Water was running down the street, but we knew at some point we're going to have to pay the piper. And then at about 5:30, we got probably one of the most vicious blizzards that we've seen here in a couple of years. And so most of the morning, the commissioner was out shoveling his driveway and his sidewalks and blowing the neighbors' walks as well. So we ended up probably with about 2.5, 3 feet of snow here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was like the perfect situation for chaos, because midday yesterday, you and I and in our group chat with Jacob, Faith, and Noogsy, we were kind of like, hey, what's it like there? Is it snowing? What do you got? Is it windy? No, it's just raining and wet, which of course in Saskatchewan means all you're going to have is slippery roads for the next couple of weeks, because it's just laying a foundation of ice for this blizzard. Anyways, hoping, Kyle, I don't know if you've heard anything about weather-related travel issues coming up this weekend. Hopefully not. Hopefully everybody gets their games in. But it's the final weekend before the Christmas break. And Kyle, one thing that everyone I've talked to in the last few weeks is bringing up is the parity in this league this year. From first place to, I'm going to go all the way to 10th place.
Warman was up 4-1 on Weyburn.
Yeah, the 12th place
12th
team.
and one. Like,
it just seems this year. Now, you've been around for, is this your 4th season now?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
This is your 4th season now. Every year we've talked about this in some form, but this year feels different. What can you tell me about how you feel about the parity this year?
And why? Like, why do you think that is?
Well, it's really incredible, because we always talk about the parity in the SJHL. We talk about the 200-foot game. We talk about how any given team can beat any team on any given night. But believe it or not, it's even closer this year than it has been previously years. Like in your interlude, your discussion that you had before me, I mean, look at first, look at 10th. There's 10 points difference. And, you go on a bit of a skid, you drop 2 or 3 games in a row, you can be all of a sudden you're in first and all of a sudden you're down in 6th or 7th. So really we have a real strong competitive balance. And I think that it can be attributed to a few things. I think that we have great coaching here in the SJHL. We got a lot of guys who are working hard to develop very good programs for kids, and we got a real good talent base. And happy to say that a large portion of that is from Western Canada. And so a lot of those kids from the West, and in particular from Saskatchewan, they know how to play to win. They know how to play the 200-foot game. And so I think we're seeing super competitive games, and it is really hard to fathom that we're almost halfway through the schedule.
Oh, geez, yeah,
it's incredible how quickly it's gone by, and you know, really, we have no true juggernauts in the league this year. And when you look at the standings on the website, I check them daily. I look at the winning percentage all the time. I look at the goal differentials, and a lot of those things are extremely close. And so great for our fans, great for you media folks, maybe not so good for our coaches who might be losing hair or having some heart issues.
Right. And that's, yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. I'll ask you about that in a little bit. But I think when you say no true juggernauts, I think that's a positive statement, though, I would say, because it means everybody has a chance right now in a positive way. Nukesy texted me yesterday and said 5 of the top 6 teams right now are 7-3 in their last 10 games. It's like, holy, like, everybody, like, it's spread out, and it's really, really interesting. And I think the biggest thing for the parity, Kyle, compared to the last couple of years, like you said, we've had in this league a team that's maybe on its own level, and then everybody else underneath. We think of the super studded Battleford's teams. Flin Flon a couple years ago went on that massive winning streak. Melfort last year was just beating everybody. We don't have necessarily a team like that yet. Do you think we could see one, though, in the second half?
Well, I don't know. You know, I wouldn't, just when I think a team is going to separate itself from the rest of the pack, you go and watch a game, and it's kind of like, well, what team is that? That's not the team I've been watching for the last 10 games. And so, you know, like I've watched Weyburn. I thought the start of the year they're really going to establish themselves. And then Jacob and I went to a game in Weyburn, and they played Melville. And Doug Johnson and the Millionaires took away the middle of the ice and upset them at home ice, you know, and then you look at, you know, you think, okay, well, Weyburn is on a roll again. Then they go up to the Battlefords, and where did this come from? And then the other night, you know, Yorkton, like, every team has some firepower, and you know, it's junior hockey, and so these are kids, and so you're not going to have a consistent effort every single night. So you really can't look at what you think is going to happen on paper, because you never know. As you always say, Clark, it's a league of opportunity, and kids step up into different roles, or kids get on a hot streak. And when you look at overall athlete development, like, usually the thing that you have to do when you're an athlete is you have to manage your expectations. You have to manage your performance, because we're not always elite every single night, right, as athletes and as people. And I think, again, we're seeing that in the league. So we're seeing a team that you think might establish some dominance get knocked off by a team that might be a little bit hungrier, or might be a little healthier, or might be getting some bounces. And so there's all kinds of factors. But what it really creates is outstanding rivalries and outstanding games for our fans and for our communities.
Well, I think that's a perfect segue to what I was going to talk about next. I think what that also leads to is really solid attendance numbers, because there's a lot of interest right now. Every night, every night is leading to a possible great game. And how have the attendance numbers from what you've seen, Kyle, reflected that?
They're pretty good, Clark. I mean, we're down just slightly from last year. Like, last year at this time, we're averaging about 787 fans per game, and that included, you know, having a community in Notre Dame that didn't always draw great for us. Right now, we're at about 777, so just down slightly, but still some outstanding numbers. Like even Warman, for example, they're averaging over 700 fans per game. So I've been to Warman on a Friday night, I've been there on a Saturday night, I've been there on a Tuesday night. Which of those three do you think they had the best crowd?
Well, this seems like a trick question. I'm going to say Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday. So their opening night, they had about 1,300 people. Jake and I went to it. It was outstanding. I've been to a few Saturdays where they've kind of had about, 700, 600. And then I went to a Tuesday about 2 weeks ago. They had almost 1,000 people on a Tuesday night. And so the next day I said to Jacob, like, I don't know what's going on, right? And I'm talking to my wife on the phone. I get off the phone and she says, well, you realize it's a young community and the boys and girls are all active in different sports. And I said, yep. She says, when do you play sports? I said, well, typically on the weekend. And so in that particular community, all those kids, like, especially if there's a day off of school the next day or a day off that day, all those kids are in the rink. And they do so much stuff in terms of in-game experience and activating kids and doing activations throughout the game that creates a lot of excitement. And so that's super exciting too. So I think we see strong attendance numbers. The weather really hasn't impacted us too much.
Yeah.
Christmas concerts really hasn't impacted it too much. I think in some of our rivalry games that are coming up here late December and in the new year, we're going to see all kinds of people home for Christmas attending those games. So we're very happy with the number of eyes that we have on the SJHL. And again, it's quality hockey. It's fun to watch. It's exciting. And every team has a chance to win any given night.
Yeah, awesome stuff. I got to ask you, coming up, obviously, I'll be there. I know it's kind of taken over your life probably to some degree lately, the Viking Cup, getting ready for it, making sure we're ready as a league to send our team. I guess just talk about, the process, with Rick Oakes and with Drew Kosher of putting this team together. Just talk about the, how easy or not easy it was to get players to agree to go. I guess, and how happy are you with kind of how it's all come together and what you can expect from it?
Well, I mean, this starts way back in the summer, and so Clayton Jardine is from the Camrose area, and he's good friends with Tim Green, and of course Clayton had coached in Camrose in the AJHL for a number of years, and the Camrose alumni were really interested in bringing this tournament back, and probably the last kind of connection the SJHL had to this tournament was like 18 to 20 years ago.
Well, folks, welcome back here inside Encana Arena here in Camrose, Alberta. Team SJHL with a commanding lead over the Czech collegiate team. I don't know if it's commanding. A couple goals could all change, but 6-2, SJHL leads it. They've been good, and they start the third on a power play for 1:20. As they've been good, and Brady Holtvold has been solid in net as well. The young boy, long shot on. Zawatsky behind the net, looking for an option. Here's Zawatsky to Ryland Williams, looking for a lane. He's got Granger in the middle to Sam Ward. Ward looking for an option, right side to Ryland Williams. Now to Sam Ward, looking for Granger. Now to Ward again. Ward at the top. He'll leave it as they work it around. Now far side for Zawatsky. Leaves it behind him for Sam Ward. Ward looking there out in front for Lees. He'll try to bump it back to Granger, but it was well read in the end by Jan Janok, and it's down the ice with 38 seconds to go in this latest SJHL power play. The SJHL 3 for 5 on the power play right now. This one's going to be bumped up the boards. Demo keeps it in, looking for Josh Sale. He's been spectacular. This line has been spectacular again. The Highway 39 rivalry line. Moldy, Sale, and Asmundsson. Probably by consistency the best line the SJHL's had in this tournament so far. And that one's turned over by Moldy and knocked the length of the ice. As Holtvold will just leave it there for Ethan Andrews to play it as we're back to even strength. As Taborski is on the ice. Sale just chips that one into the Czechia zone and wants a line change. He scored a beauty in the second period, as this one's going to be an icing off the stick of Noah Asmundsson. 18:10 to go. Face off to the left. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. Let me know where you're watching from, who you think has been the best player tonight, who you think the best player in the SJHL is, who you cheer for in the SJ. Love to hear it. Face off to the right of Brady Holtvold. Bukal now has it. Long wrist shot from the right point. Just sails wide off the stick of Marek Blaha. Little play back door, looking to find this one is Wojtek Mateza. And it's Ethan Andrews is going to come away with it. He'll stop it down, take his time, but bump it along to Demo. That one's out of the reach of everybody. Got to shout out Graham Brown on the SJHL bench, the L'Orange Ice Wolves goal. He's right on the money with opening and closing the door for these fellas. Done a great job. It's good yesterday, too, when he was needed by the SJHL. L'Orange Ice Wolves are in a lot of games this year, and he's a big reason why. Long shot is blocked by Olsen. Great to see him back on the ice. Asmundsson just wants to get it down the ice after that one. Philip Novak, a bit of a high hit there on Asmundsson. Olsen battling there in the corner. He's being leaned on, and he'll pull it away. Olsen trying to leave it there for Egger. He's got Saddlemeyer, too, on this line. Olsen does dig it free. Middle of the ice to Saddlemeyer. He scores! Zayden Saddlemeyer gets in on the action, and a beautiful team line work goal between Olsen, Egger, and Saddlemeyer. And the Viking Quest bump maybe for Zayden Saddlemeyer after doing the podcast earlier this afternoon. What a beautiful goal between him, Egger, and Olsen. And it's 7-2 SJHL with 17:14 to go here in the third period as Reed Arbery will step up. I guess name changes are nothing new for Czechia. They used to be called Czechoslovakia, of course, after World War II, and then called the Czech Republic after the fall of communism and the split between Czech Republic and Slovakia. And now they're just Czechia, and there's Slovakia as another country entirely, of course. Eisner given a bump. Here is Reed Arbery. He shoots. It is well wide of the net as Harkness will go back. Little line change in pairings right now, looks like maybe is going to go too many men, I think, on Czechia. And so Czechia, another penalty. They've taken their seventh penalty. And Chiza happy about another Melfort Mustang scoring. All that strength and conditioning, I guess, paying off there, Chiza. Face off to the left of Altrichter. As it'll be Joey Lees with Rylan Williams, Jai Zawatsky, Sam Ward, and Gavin Granger. And the thing about this two-team, too, for the SJHL is it's not like there's a fourth line to play if the game is out of hand. Everybody's a first line, so you just roll the lines and keep her going. 7-2, the SJHL leads it. Asmundsson with 2, Williams, Campbell, Eisner, Sale, and now Saddlemeyer in on the fun. Saddlemeyer's first of the tournament, and maybe his most beautiful goal the SJ has scored. They've got a bunch of nice ones, but that was right up there. So too many men on the ice here called against Czechia. Blaha is the one serving it. Sam Ward of Flin Flon will knock that one in. Here is Jai Zawatsky. Joey Lees will leave it there for Zawatsky. He'll wind his way up. Looking to bow. That was something spectacular. The trick bag from Zawatsky went between his legs from the middle of the ice, but just missed far post. That would have been pretty cool. Lees with the shot. Zawatsky dumped there, and obviously Jai's not too unfamiliar with bigger guys trying to push him around a little bit. 1:29 to go on this power play. 4 minutes gone in the third period, and it is 7-2 in favor of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. I'm Jamie Neugebauer. Thank you so much for tuning in here on YouTube and Facebook Live. Out in front, Zawatsky looking for Joey Lees. Just lost an edge there. Stick exploded, in fact. So Joey needs to go to the bench to get a new twig, and he's going to cruise off. He's going to get a new twig and get back into the action. But SJHL lost their handle anyways, so hopefully Joey's got some more twigs here in Camrose. As Sam Ward ran into Petrusek and lost the handle with 50 seconds to go in this power play inside the SJHL zone. The little battle along the board. Zawatsky loses it as well as Novak battling there with Gavin Granger, and the Battleford's North Star defenseman in there is Novak trying to hang on to Jai Zawatsky's stick a little bit. Here is Granger steaming his way in. Boys, he's been wonderful for Battleford's this season has Granger. Rylan Williams looking for Granger, and whenever things go well for Battleford this year, Gavin's been right in the middle of it. Just a little chip in by Sam Ward, looking for Josh Sale. As I mentioned, used to play in Alberta for Blackfalds. Here's Sam Ward, far side. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Ward with an empty net, and it was blocked by his own man, Josh Sale. So Josh might have to buy him a chocolate bar or something there. I'm sure they'll have a laugh. Sam Ward had a wide open net off the rebound from the point shot from, I believe it was Ethan Andrews. And Josh Sale was just standing in his spot where he's supposed to, and the empty net, it hit him. Good thing the SJHL doesn't need a goal because that would have been painful. But everybody can have a laugh because you're up 7-2. I'd like to say a special hello to Mary Lou Pisak, listening from Stockholm, Saskatchewan, not Sweden, I guess. That would be still cool to be from Stockholm, Saskatchewan. Neil Breeze, it's 7-2 SJHL with 14:20 to go in the third period. This one rolls into the waiting arms of Brady Holtvogt. And he's able to hang on for the whistle. Entertaining stuff again. The SJHLers looking a bit like the Harlem Globetrotters here tonight. They have really flashed the style here in Camrose so far. The SJHL has 13-3. They have outscored the opposition at this point in time. Ethan Andrews just kind of dumps it down the ice for icing. And so nobody's in too big of a hurry to deal with that one. Outstanding job all the way around once again. Still 14 minutes to go in this one, though. Ethan Andrews goes back. Ruda watching him. Bernat loses the edge, and so Sale will collect in the neutral zone, but now it's going to be Bernat again cruising back. The shots are only 24-23, by the way, for Czechia, but 7-2. The SJHL just clinical with their chances so far in this one. Asmundsson trying to swing at that one, finds Van Egger. He'll wind his, what a play by Van to draw the Czech player, and then down the ice, and another penalty called here against Czechia. It's been a steady parade to the box. Czechia was getting away with everything earlier in this game, and they've really lost their composure. So hello, Mary Lou from Stockholm, Saskatchewan. Hello, Anthony Peck from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the kind words. I'm really loving calling games. Of course, my team that I used to call for was relocated, so I wasn't sure if I'd be rusty, but there you have it. Granger looking for Lees. Couple chances. A great save there by Altrichter. Williams looking down low for Zawatsky. Now Gavin Granger again, looking for the lane to Sam Ward. Now here is Granger. Look, Ryan Williams at the right point. Now to Granger. Leaves it for Rylan Williams. Bumps it for Sam Ward. A minute 30 to go. This one's going to be kicked out by Granger to the line. Williams, little chip to the corner. Looking for Granger, and this one's going to be locked the length. Team SJHL going to try to get to 2-0 if they can hang on to this big lead. Lee's given a bum from Kucharczyk. Russ Demo was the Viking Cup player of the game yesterday, by the way. Holtvogt has that one bounce away from Sam Ward. Now Taborski. Taborski has that one sail by him. And it's going to be 45 seconds left in the latest penalty to Czechia. This one's out of the reach of Rylan Williams, who's out of gas, as Taborski wired it accidentally, of course, off his teammate right there, Wojtek Mateza. So he's not going to love that feeling. Thank you very much, Tracy Sandback. Appreciate that. Philip and Bethany Lees from Stafford, Virginia, watching your nephew, Joey Lees. Just love the Lees family, just in general. Justin was awesome to watch for Flin Flon too. Having a great career so far at Mount Royal University. Long-time Western Hockey League forward as well, Justin. So great to hear from you, Philip and Bethany Lees. And Joey's such a good kid. This one's out of play. I was about to say, I'll tell you the story about Joey next whistle, but he was, I don't know if he's serious, but I was talking to him about wearing glasses and playing hockey and contacts and whatnot, and he said, actually, this year I've decided not to wear glasses or contacts when I play. He always wears glasses, but so he's kind of not seeing at 100% when he's playing, but it's clearly working for him. He's got 16 goals, 19 assists in the SJHL, so maybe the glasses were holding him back more than anything. And so I think he's serious, to be honest, but because Joey doesn't seem like the guy that would make something up, but he's been unbelievable for Flin Flon this year, really broken out. And the thing that Mike Reagan and I would talk about at times about Joey is get chances, get into good places and spaces, uses his speed, his intelligence, his strength, and then he'd miss the net. And now he's not wearing any kind of eye enhancement device, and now he's scoring all the goals. So go figure. There you go. Anthony Campbell out there with Arbery and Brendan Olson. Demo, right point, shoots the tip. Olson throws it back on. Nice save there by Alt Richter. Thanks to Leonard for the Canada World Junior update. 5-1 over the Danes. 11:27 to go in the third. Czechia had a 5-1 win over the University of Alberta at Augustana yesterday. The Midland University Warriors lost 8-0 earlier today to SAIT. And boy, does that SAIT team run by SJHL alumni. Really excited to see Zach Kane, especially. He's a really high caliber player and person, of course. All those guys are. Here is Pastor, Harkness, and Olsen below the goal line, trying to dig that one free. Anthony Campbell digging for it too. Of course, the SJHL and the Czechs both playing back-to-back days, so no real advantage that way for energy-wise. A big hit there as Arbery almost caught with his head down, but it was a pretty square check. Didn't hit him in the head, so pretty clean. No damage done. Pastor turns and shoots. That one goes wide. Harkness trying to battle with his man as they win it along the boards, and it's going to be just flipped up in the air, and it goes off a high stick, and Anthony Campbell will make sure it gets up before he touches it. Trying to go by his man, Pastor, runs into a wall called Boston Harkness as Marcel just kind of grabs Anthony Campbell's head there. And I think the referee's going to rightly give Czechia their 8th penalty of the game here. The SJHL 3 for 7 on the power play so far tonight. 10:16 to go in the third. It's 7-2 SJHL leading it here. And get some practice on that power play. Joe Kosher loves the power play, and the Estevan Bruins team have been deadly with it this year, and you can see why with Rylan Williams and Noah Asmundson and Ethan Andrews, big parts of all of that. Of course, as I mentioned, Noah Asmundson does lead the SJHL in power play goals scored. 10 of his 12 goals in the regular season for the SJHL have been power play goals. So they're talking about where the face-off's supposed to be, but maybe it's not a power play for the SJHL. And so the teams can change. The officials let the SJHL change because they thought it was going to be a power play, and then the referees decided it wasn't going to be a power play, even though Marcel kind of clotheslined Anthony Campbell. But the Czechs it started with trying to be physical and trying to bully what they thought would be a young, scared team, maybe, but I think they misunderstood the assignment here, because this SJHL team can really play, and they're going to have to maybe play a different way the next time, if there is a next time these two teams do battle, because the Czechs have been running around trying to be physical and taking lots of penalties, giving the SJHL a lot of confidence and mojo in this game. Czechia feels like there was a unnecessary push by Demo, and let me tell you, Demo's given the Czech player in front of the net a bit of the gears there, David Ruda. But Russ Demo is a real joker, so he's probably just laughing the whole time, to be honest with you. Rusty Demo, he was getting treatment from Jaden earlier today. It was Russ, and he said, okay, when I'm done, I'm going to treat you, Jaden. And so Jaden says he does that all the time. And Kindersley, obviously, Russ Demo, Kindersley Clippers defenseman. Jaden, the Kindersley Clippers athletic therapist. Czechs have 6 guys on the ice. So now Shikora is going to come off. The face-off is to the right of Holtvoet. 10:03 to go in the third period. The score's 7-2 in favor of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Jan Bukal on the face-off. That's won by Joey Lees, and it's going to be picked up here by Gavin Granger, who spins away from a hard-checking forecheck. Dangerous situation there for Henriksen, but he gets away from Blaha as Arbery knocked over by Pitchkach. This one's going to be down the right side by Ruda. He's knocked off the puck, though, by Zawatsky. And going off, Arbery's not 100% now. Granger steps around his man. Granger just tried to slip it 5-hole. And now Arbery's the latest one, not feeling too great. This one's tipped on by Williams into the glove of Altrichter. And he hangs on and kind of feeling his face. Maybe is Reed Arbery. With 9:22 to go in the third period, 7-2, SJHL leads it. As I believe it's going to be the officials' timeout here in Camrose, Alberta. So if the SJHL can hold on, they'll go to 2-0. And they, as I said, have been terrific so far in this game, in this tournament. And try to keep that mojo going, and they'll take a much-needed rest tomorrow before moving on to New Year's Eve against the University of Alberta at Augustana, the home team, of course, here. Team that has lots of SJHL alumni, including my good buddy Kyle Calamaris, among many others. Cody Jamin, the longtime great Kindersley Clippers goaltender, was their goalie yesterday, and he hadn't played all year long, is my understanding. Noodles, a bit of an injury problem as well late in his career with Kindersley, too. So hopefully that kid can catch a break and stay healthy. Forget why they call them Noodles, but that is his nickname in Kindersley. I'm sure someone out there will tell me again. Long shot on from Januszek right into the glove of Holtvoet, who hangs on. Brady Holtvoet really sharp here. And again, even though he's only an 07, nobody's surprised that he's comfortable in this type of a situation. Turned over there by, I believe it was Demo. And the Czechs unable to take advantage. This one's going to be into the crowd. You got to keep your head up when you go to a hockey game, folks. 9:01 to go in the third period. Thank you so much once again for tuning in. Thank you to Vaderstad for their patronage for the SJHL coming to this event. And, of course, everybody involved with this event has been first class here at the Encana Arena in Camrose. So knocked up by Drew Moldy. He's given a shove. Here is Januszek. He'll play it to Blaha. Now Januszek through the neutral zone. He'll chip it in, try to play it through Noah Asmundsen. We are back to even strength, by the way. Sale thought he jumped the offside there, but it is going to be called on the delayed offside. SJHL resumes in a couple of days' time with a couple of games over what is the break for a lot of people. Kindersley and Battlefords will do battle on Wednesday, the New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day at 4 p.m. They'll do battle again in Kindersley, so kind of a home and home for the West Sask rivals. And then Melville will have Yorkton on January the 2nd, as this one rolls into Hautevaux. Melfort and Flin Flon will do battle in Flin Flon with a bunch of the guys gone here. And then back in Melfort on the 3rd of January. So no Lees, no Arbery, no Ward for Flin Flon, no Saddlemeyer or Eisner for Melfort. Of course, those are very deep teams. Yorkton and Warman will do battle on the 3rd of January as well. Weyburn was in Estevan for the Highway 39, and there's a bunch of those two teams guys here for sure. Egger runs into his man Sikora and just kind of square, and Egger got right back up again. Van's a tough kid, though. Get right back up. 8:15 to go in the third period. Puck to the back right in the SJHL zone of Brady Holtvogt. Here's Sam Ward, though, dipping and diving away from trouble. Trying to find that one in his feet. Pastor back to Pichkach at the point. One of the better players for the Czechs. Pichkach, very physical defenseman. Shot right into the midsection. And tell you what, Zayden Saddlemeyer is a nice boy, but he competes like a dog in front of the net. And he had a bigger boy there, and Pekarchik, frustrated, felt like he was being cross-checked by Saddlemeyer. Kucharczyk, pardon me. But the referee not interested. Face off to the right here of Holtvogt, 7:57 to go. Face off won by the Czechs. Pichkach throws it to the net. Trying to settle that one down. Pichkach again. That one just goes by Harkness and dribbles wide of the net. Adam Sochor out there. Not a lot of ice time for him tonight, as well as Jan Marcel. Marcel and Arbery having a couple whacks at each other. And so the puck is blown dead in the back right corner as Joey Lees will just do some puck tricks there as they wait to do this again. The shots on the clock are 26 all. But the grade A's have certainly been in the SJHL side. A lot more perimeter opportunities for the Czechs. The Holtvogt has made some nice saves. The only goal in the third period belongs to Zayden Saddlemeyer. Boston Harkness tackles his man in the corner, Sochor to the back left of Holtvogt. Pulled away out of the corner and flipped to the net accidentally by Ethan Andrews. With Sebastian Bartesh getting a rare shift out there. The SJHL, as I mentioned, will take on Augustana on New Year's Eve. The games tomorrow. Czechia right back at it right away at noon against the winless Midland Warriors. And Augustana and Satan, and also ACAC battle is the evening contest. Jai Zawatsky tries to settle this one down. Zawatsky reaches for it. He's got Campbell ahead of him. Anthony Campbell reaching for it there. The latest SJHL player to need some help is Reed Arbery, but he looks like he's okay on the bench too. 6:53 to go in the third period, and for the Czechs, I guess they felt like they haven't been able to beat him, so they're trying to beat him, if you know what I mean. They've been on the line and maybe over it physical here today. But SJHL has really done a nice job of keeping their cool, which was what the number one prerogative of Drew Kosher was pregame, and they've really listened to him. 6:38 to go here in the third period. Suchor loses the handle to Zawatsky. Demo a little slow moving it. Suchor is about to pull the trigger. He fanned on it. Does get a shot off. It was a heavy one on Holtvot. This one to the top off the leg. There's a shot from Bernard, and Rylan Williams will try to take off. Williams flips it looking for Zawatsky. Now to Anthony Campbell, but it's off his leg, and Taborski will knock it forward. This game's pace is really slowing down. Here is Bernard. Now inside the SJ zone, the one-timer right into the chest of Holtvot. Off the stick of Mateza. And Brady's been quite sharp here tonight. Pardon me, that was Jan Janok's one-timer. He can clearly rip a puck, can Janok. Mentioned these Czech players are university students in Czechia. A lot of them play for university teams in the capital city of Prague. Seem like nice guys. I ran into a couple of them in the hallway here at the rink and just asked me what I thought about the game tonight. And I asked them what they thought, and neither of us really knew. But it's been really good for the SJHL. Janok plays for the Black Dogs Budweiss. Here is a chance for Asmundsson, looking for that hat trick, but he put it into the glove of Alt Richter. Sale having a word there. Janok played for HC Milevsko of the Czech 4th Division last year. Had experience in the Czech youth leagues in Budějovice. Jan Janok from Czechia, 23 years old. 5:40 to go in the third. Here is Eisner. His shot is blocked. Swing and a miss and pulled away here by Jobanek. Nice little move there on Sam Ward. Ward and Jobanek all tangled up. Jobanek, big line out there for Czechia. Januszek shot is on. That one stopped by Holtvot again. Eisner will chase after it. Sam Ward out the other way. And Van Egger will chip it forward there for Brendan Olsen. Saddlemeyer, who's got the latest goal in this one. Does that one flip off his stick? It'll roll right into the young Humboldt Broncos goaltender, Holtvot. And he'll hang on for the whistle. The SJHL didn't just come here to just try to compete and make up the numbers with teams against college level aged players, 22, 23, 24, 25 years old in some cases. Came here to win, and they've shown that the last two nights. Playoffs will be in the new year. I'll have those games called as well on YouTube Live and Facebook. Lees was crushed right there in the offensive zone. Kucharczyk, Pastor, what a save that was by Holtvot. As the Czechs moved that puck around sweetly in the offensive zone, and Pastor with a backhand, but it was nicely saved by big Holtvot, able to hang on to it. This one's lifted up. Andrews intercepts, and he'll just flip it to the corner. 7-2, SJHL continues to lead it with 4:30 to go in the third period. A couple Czechs collide. Harkness looking for Arbery. He's got Zawatsky in alone. 5-hole in Alt Richter. Didn't know much about it, but closed the wickets just in time as Yorkton Star was looking for the goal there, and Alt Richter with a terrific save on Jai Zawatsky Joy with 14 goals, 21 assists this year for Yorkton. That's the third most assists out of any player on this team in the SJHL season. Williams with 27 has the most. Harkness with 24 is the second most. So the most assists out of any forwards in the SJHL on this team. Here is Blaha. Right to the Czech blue line and back to the neutral zone again. This game's kind of devolved into a kind of game of shinny here. Zawatsky being held on to by Blaha. You guys are playing hard still, though. Trying to handle. This one is Jan Marcel. Wyland Williams dipping and diving, but to pull the trigger. Had his stick tied at the last minute, though. Here's Granger at the right point. Granger to the top to Russ Demo. Back to Gavin Granger. To Campbell, his shot is blocked. And Secor giving Demo a hard shove, and it's going to be picked up by Campbell. Demo will take his time. That one's off the leg of Zawatsky, who's hit in the face. Back into the SJ zone. Haven't seen Reed Arbery in a bit, I think. He's still on the bench, just standing there, though. Here is Granger. Hopefully he's okay. Granger tried to stick handle through Bernat. He was able to pull it free, though. Here is Bernat along the red line out in front. And that one sailed by the intended target. Here is Bernat again in the middle of the ice. Bernat, far side to Shikora. He shoots. Ruta the save, the rebound. Campbell able to dig that one free as Sale will chip at it. That one turned over by Sale, and some bad habits creeping into the SJHL right now. Granger leaves it for Eisner. Of course, you got to keep in mind the energy level and the situation for this team, for the SJHL, trying to conserve some energy maybe. Sale's tangled up. Penalty coming up, and I think it might be against the SJHL's Josh Sale, and he's having at it here with Dominic Buyak. Buyak complaining about Sale. I thought Buyak was kind of hanging on to Sale, and Sale was hanging on to Buyak. Puck was down in the SJHL zone. This was in front of Altrichter in the Czech net. 7-2 SJHL leads, 2:27 to go in the third period. It's going to be 4-on-4 here for most of the rest of this contest. But 7-2, the SJHL leads it. Thank you to Sammy Dryden again for the compliment. Yeah, look, I love doing play-by-play. I love calling games. Obviously, I love getting to know these fellas and promoting them and whatnot. But professionally, probably my favorite thing is doing what I'm doing right now, calling the game. So such an honor and a treat for me to be able to do so. But thank you for the kind words to everybody. And thank you so much for tuning in. No, the young man doing the games on Flow Hockey is a really nice guy. Does it for Augustana. Lots of guys in the box. Sale and Asmundsen for the SJHL. Marcel and Buyak for the Czechs. Just some extracurricular activities, I guess. Egger on the face-off. Puck's been mostly in the SJ zone lately, but it's kind of been prevent defense and just kind of trying to conserve that energy. But Holtvoet has been great. He's made 30 saves so far. Eisner wires it into his own bench. I'm sure he's going to hear about that one later. Noah Asmundsen with a pair of goals. Rylan Williams, Anthony Campbell, Bo Eisner, Josh Sale, and Zayden Saddlemeyer have the goals for the SJHL. Jan Bernat and Jakub Shikora have the goals for Czechia. Czechia is on the power play now. As the only penalty on the board is Josh Sale. Here is Ruta. So the Czechs are 0 for 1 with the power play. The long wrist shot is a rocket. One thing about these Czechs, they do shoot the puck hard. They hit hard, they shoot it hard. That's two things I'll say about them. They have rocket shots. There's no question. They love to hit. They're very physical. But I'm sure they're going to go back to the drawing board if these two teams do battle in the playoff round. And the Czechs might have a different game plan. Try to play hockey instead of bully ball next time out. Here is Alt Richter behind his own net. Daniel Pishkach to Jobanek. Going to go wide on Harkness. Throws it out in front. That one's off of the toe pick there of Filip Petroshek. Pishkach. Jobanek trying to set something up on this power play for Czechia. Pishkach, long shot through traffic. Holtvot stops it. Petroshek trying to throw that one back to the front of the net. It's well defended, though, by Anthony Campbell. There is Januszek again, taking his time. Half wall to the left of Holtvot. Pishkach, Petroshek. Pishkach, the shot. That one sails wide, and Ethan Andrews wires it down the ice, and it hits the referee, but does get down to Alt Richter. Here is Pastor now, looking to battle that one against Drew Moldy. This is going to be a pass to nobody by Adam Sokor, and it's going to be into the SJHL zone, but Demo will rocket it down the ice with 30 seconds to go in the third period. The Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League looking to go 2-0 in the Viking Cup, the first Viking Cup in 20 years here in Camrose, Alberta. Of course, alumni include the likes of Henrik Lundqvist and Dominic Hasek and Thomas Plakanitz and others. Pretty awesome alumni list from this tournament, and hopefully it has a long and prosperous future. But in the present, the SJHL continues to make a statement here in Camrose as the buzzer goes, and the SJHL with a comprehensive victory over the Czechia College Selects. Noah Asmunds and the Estevan Bruins with a pair. Rylan Williams of Estevan with another one. Anthony Campbell of Battleford with one. Bo Eisner of Melfort with a goal. Josh Sale of Weyburn and Zayden Saddlemeyer as well. 32 saves for Brady Holtvot in his Viking Cup debut. And the Czechs will go to 1-1, the SJHL, to 2-0 before they take on Augustana on New Year's Eve. Make sure you tune into the SJHL website, sjhl.ca, SJHL social media. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Darren. Darren Rogg, always so extremely kind whenever I'm in Estevan, and obviously great fan of the league for many years. But the SJHL with a big win here in Game 2 against Czechia. We'll see you on New Year's Eve, everybody.